Welcome to East Carolina University, day 3 of the Keith LeClerc Classic and a championship matchup. Virginia Tech undefeated on the weekend. East Carolina, their bats are rolling in the last 2 games and an ACC American matchup to decide the tournament championship. What better way to start your Sunday afternoon? Thanks for joining us here at Clark LeClerc Stadium with the local coach, Mike Mullis. I'm EvanBudrovich. If you like offense, this is the place to be. Virginia Tech leads the country in doubles, and East Carolina off a double-figure run scoring night yesterday. How do these bats continue that success?
You know, we're kind of seeing East Carolina round into form, and Virginia Tech, this is kind of their calling card. A lot of big home runs, a lot of doubles, extra base hits. The numbers are gaudy. We'll see how they match up today.
Virginia Tech's led by a stud in the bottom third of the lineup. Sam Tackett, not just 4 home runs, but he drives the ball with power.
Yeah, 4 home runs and a couple of those tape measure shots. One on about a 500-foot shot on TrackMan, and the other one alleged to be somewhere in that same ballpark with no TrackMan. But be an interesting part of today. Ever since I saw him opening day, I've been looking forward to watching him today.
This Hokie offense has been clicking. 7 doubles on the weekend. East Carolina led by the homegrown native Dixon Williams. He's 5 for 7 in this tournament. How does he continue that success?
You know, his approach yesterday was what was most impressive. He's locked in, kind of going back to what we've seen from him throughout his career, using the entire ballpark. 3 home runs himself, so he's no slouch. Hope to just continue to see him get hot.
2 of the best offenses we've seen all weekend in Greenville battle for a tournament championship. Virginia Tech, East Carolina, 2 nearby rivals. First pitch after this. Welcome back to Greenville, North Carolina. Virginia Tech red hot, one of the best offenses in the country entering tonight's game. East Carolina, they found their bats here on Saturday with a 13-run performance. And now let's dive into the pitching aspect. Winds are gusting in today here at Clark LeClerc Stadium, and that could be a friend of true freshman Lance Williams, one of the best draft prospects in the class of 2026. How does the freshman find his form today?
You know, Lance, big arm. We've seen the fastball get up into the mid-90s, good breaking stuff, a lot of arm side action on that fastball. Last time we saw him had a little bit of trouble controlling the strike zone. We'll see if he's made that correction, but looks like Coach Galvin and staff have a lot of confidence in him, and they're going to send him out here for a big Sunday start against these Hokies.
Pirates starting pitching has been outstanding. A combined 12 2/3, just 4 runs given up in the first 2 games, but no easy test against John Szef's Virginia Tech offense. Now, this Hokie club is pounding the baseball on the weekend, hitting above 400 in the tournament. Jared Davis, a couple of hits, the returning key starter for Virginia Tech. And keep an eye on the power of David Lewis. 3 doubles on the weekend.
Yeah, no, when you go up and down this lineup, 389, 342, you got 2 guys hitting over 500, 1 guy hitting almost 400. I mean, the numbers are gaudy. The double numbers, as you mentioned, were gaudy. And then obviously Sam Tackett down there just kind of lying in wait with the 4 big home runs on the season.
East Carolina defensively, and with the Keith LeClaire Classic, every player will wear number 23. So keep an eye on who's on the field right now. Back-to-back starts in left for Roger Vergara, and this outfield starting to solidify, and then the same 9 from yesterday for Cliff Godwin.
Had a great conversation with Coach Palumbo, and we talked a lot about Vergara, the JUCO transfer, and getting his energy back to where his normal levels are, and kind of, hey, Roger, don't be a robot. Be yourself. Be loose, play free. We want to get you in the lineup. We want to bring that excitement, and just so happens it works out that it's in left field for the last 2 days.
That sets up a do-or-die championship game. Virginia Tech at 2-0. They've clinched a share of the title. Kent State goes 2-1 in the tournament. And here's East Carolina at 1-1, looking to defend home turf today for the 16th ever meeting between the Hokies and the Pirates. A chilly afternoon, but let's get this party started here in Greenville. Lance Williams, the flame-throwing freshman, and dots it up at 92 to Jared Davis to kick off this 6th and final game of the tournament.
Again, last time we saw Williams, a lot of issues missing arm side high. We'll see if he's got that figured out.
Davis, the junior college transfer from Florida Southwestern State, off to a blistering start. 390 clip, already 9 RBI. That's best on the Hokie lineup outside of Sam Tackett, the home run hitter. And he's late there. It's 2-1.
I think it's worth mentioning, we talked about it in the pregame, that this is the Keith LeClaire Classic tournament, but not a tournament in the true nature of a double elimination situation. So this is it. This is the big game.
The big game starts with a ground ball to short and a quick play for Alex Boucher, the Pirates shortstop, the Old Dominion transfer.
Nice job by Williams there, getting back into that account and then inducing that ground ball. And, it's going to be critical he keeps his pitch count relatively low as he can and kind of efficient and manages his way through it. Again, we've seen 2 great starts out of Pirate pitching already in the tournament, and, Williams wants to see if he can't get into the 5th or 6th as well. Although, Ev, I do think the bullpen is relatively well rested.
To your point, just 5 relievers used on the weekend for Cliff Godwin. That is a rare luxury here for the home squad, as there's a swing and a miss for Ben Watson, the starting left fielder.
A lot of that helped last night with the run rule shortened game, only going 7. 1 reliever last night, and Gabe Beschloss, who did his job. So yeah, they're ready to go if needed.
Watson back up the middle. He'll test Boucher early, and Irby with some good footwork over there makes the play for the 2nd out.
Yeah, nice job by the freshman, man. We talk about Irby a lot. He actually had the walk-off last night, the big 3-run blast to right field, but also a very good defender. And again, as you said, nice job with the athleticism over there to lay out and still hang on to the bag with his foot.
Even Len Goodman from Dancing with the Stars would appreciate this toe tapping from Irby. Able to keep his bare toe back there for the out. We'd be quite a tango team, Mike. You and I. Dancing to a little 2-minute routine.
Buddy, the stuff you come up with.
Okay, bear with me here for a second. I do think we could win a couple rounds. Mike Mullis, our baseball aficionado. I'm more the fun guy.
Good pitch by Williams there. One of a kind, bud.
David McCann, the DH, who's 1 for 5 on the weekend, but that hit was a 2 RBI double, and now works a 2-1 count. And with that wind blowing in about 10 miles an hour today, pitching to contact will be important. Oh, yeah,
the park's going to play big. Now, we keep talking about attacking in those 2 or 3, maybe even 450-foot-plus home runs. I don't know that matters what the wind's doing, but it certainly will play a factor at some point in this game. Right now, kind of still, but it has certainly been gusting throughout the day.
That's Williams here on 3-1. And the freshman with a filthy breaking ball. Those are the metrics that have the pitch ninja folks going crazy here in Greenville. Elite breaking ball to complement a mid-90s fastball for Williams, the true freshman. Now his payoff pitch is Nice fought off. Good battle from David McCann, the DH.
Really good job there. McCann was sitting dead red on the fastball when he got the off-speed offering pitch before, so they doubled it up on him. It's kind of the cat and mouse game, and when you get a guy that maybe guessing a little bit of a guess hitter, you can kind of toy with him and back-to-back off-speed offers. Let's see where they go here.
Part 2 is a fastball, and it's popped up. Plenty of room for Colby Wallace, and he moves back to his original third base spot to end the inning. 3 up, 3 down. Another good start for Pirate pitching on the weekend. We'll get a look at Alex Peltier and the Pirate offense when we come back. Welcome back to Greenville, North Carolina. First start of Cameron Lejeune's career in Blacksburg, the McNeese State grad transfer who was a weekend rotation arm for the Cowboys a year ago. Now he looks to face a red-hot Pirate offense that scored 13 runs yesterday.
Yeah, big 6'4" right-hander out of Sulphur, Louisiana. We had a Noah Syndergaard reference yesterday, and this is kind of a 2.0 with the locks there. But Lejeune, big body, 6'4", 230. Like you said, McNeese transfer. Let's see how it goes for this Pirate offense.
At McNeese State, he had a great start in his debut against Texas A&M last year, 5 innings, and earned the win for the Cowboys. A very similar matchup with a Pirate offense that in the last 3 games has found its sea legs here offensively. Austin Irby anchoring that with a walk-off home run last night. We noted Wallace with the 3-for-8 game. But up and down this order for Cliff Godwin, a much better weekend for the Pirate offense.
Yeah, you know what, and again, we've talked about it before. I mean, it kind of was a happy medium where the pitching wasn't what you saw with Carolina, so the guys had a chance to work themselves into a little bit better of a hitting situation and had some success with it last night.
Cam Lejeune's first pitch in a Hokie uniform is a swing and a miss for Alex Peltier.
Interestingly enough, a guy that's been hot all year in Peltier has kind of come back to earth a little bit and had a little bit of a tough day yesterday, and see if he can get it back on track.
The 0-1 is off the end of the bat. Peltier will test the Hokie defense, and a nice play from Davis, the second baseman. Virginia Tech team that's made just 6 errors all year. Very stout on this end.
Yeah, you see a little off-speed offering off the end of the bat there, and pretty easy play for the second baseman, although Peltier's a good runner. Just, you'd have to be track type, Olympic type sprinter to beat that one out.
It's a good play from a brand new infield for Virginia Tech. Just one returning starter from last season. This was a club that was one of the last 4 out come tournament time a year ago. Good resume, but lost their final 3 ACC series. They're off to a great start here at 9-2, and Dixon Williams watches a strike. Keep in mind, both teams played Monday with weather affecting their previous weekends, so each staff a little affected in terms of depth coming into this Sunday Game 3.
I may need to see Lejeune a few more, but I'm pretty sure that's a knuckleball that he's throwing, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm basing that more off the grip. It's not dancing a whole lot, but he took a weird grip, at least on that last one. There's the fastball, but the pitch before could have been a little spike breaking ball, but he definitely had a knuckle up. We'll keep an eye on that and see what he does.
You're right. His secondary stuff is rather unique in today's day and age. We'll keep tabs on Lejeune, who won 18 games in his McNeese State tenure. Yeah, you're right. That has knuckle effect to it.
It
Strike
might be
two.
a little. It could be just a little knuckle breaking ball, a little spike breaking pitch, but it's got a little dive at the end, and it's been 80 to 84. Doesn't appear that he's going to be a guy that tries to overpower these Pirate hitters, just nibble a bite and try to force them into weak contact.
Here's the 2-2. And back up the middle. There's a base hit for Williams. Hottest hitter in this order. 6 hits on the weekend.
Isn't it amazing how quickly, and I used the term last night, how quickly the worm turns, but the worm has certainly turned for Dixon, at least this weekend. Seeing the ball much better, and you see, that's probably the 3rd ball we've seen him hit this weekend right up the middle. So good signs, and again, looks like Dixon's getting hot just in time.
And any thoughts, Mike, with this newly installed turf in front of the plate, that it speeds up ground balls this year versus previous years?
We've seen it one time. Peltier had a chopper that got over the first baseman's head a couple weeks ago down in the corner, but you got to chop it pretty good to get it on the turf.
There's a first pitch strike to Colby Wallace, who's earned the 3rd base position over the weekend. 3 straight starts. Now has 3 hits and 3 RBI in this tournament.
Yeah, we've documented his defense has been there, even though his offense has struggled at times, but he too is showing some signs.
Good pitch from Lejeune, who's got a fastball, cutter, and slurve mix, according to pitch analytics. And that's where we're kind of seeing that knuckle slurve combo. McNeese State, he was the number 2 starter a year ago in the. There's a ground ball right back to him. Good toss for the 2nd out.
And, that's exactly what he's going to try to do. Speed you up with 88, comes back with that 83, and, it's you kind of get caught in between, and that's exactly Colby Wallace, a little check swing there. And I think, for Lejeune to be successful today, you're going to have to see a lot of that. And I'll tell you, as a Pirate hitter, you've got to be aware and stay solid within your approach. Understand that this is his philosophy, and you're going to have to probably take one of those away from him, understanding that getting off the big swing may not be the recipe for success today. Just take what he gives you.
2-out opportunity for Austin Irby, who delivered the walk-off home run last night in a run rule 7-inning game as he works ball 1. Irby in his first year, a bit impactful RBI bat for the Pirates offensively. A club that last year was top 10 in the country and hitting with 2 outs from a analytics standpoint. And it really tests for this young offense in week 3.
Yeah, I tell you, a lot of the success for Lejeune may also be dependent upon the home plate umpire, Jim Shaley, and his strike zone, how that affects his ability to pitch to those corners.
Irby on 1-1 chases the cutter against a pitcher in Lejeune who was really good against SEC foes a year ago. No decision, but 5 innings of 2-run ball against Arkansas, and then the following week earned the win against Texas A&M. So some really good outings in the non-con. And he faces a potent Pirate offense today as Irby flips one to left out of play.
He has pounded that same spot the last 3 pitches with 3 different velocities. Like 5 miles an hour different each time. It's pretty impressive. It's kind of artful to watch him pitch.
Another 1-2 from Lejeune. Stays down that time, and an even count to Irby.
I tell you what, he's got him looking away. I don't know if he feels confident in trying to sneak one underneath his hands, but every pitch has been in that same spot down and away. Looks like Irby just made a little adjustment up on the plate. Let's see where they go now.
Now the 2-2. An adjustment and a pop fly to left center. What a run by Tackett to track it down.
Left fielder was camped. He's like, buddy, I'm right here if you need me. Tackett must have been calling it all the way. Obviously, we can't hear it up here, but a nice play for him to secure the 3rd out.
Tackett said, elementary, my dear Watson. I'll take care of it and left. Tackett making a nice play to end the inning. The story of the weekend's been starting pitching for Cliff Godwin's club. True freshman Son Jenkins last night, brilliant in 6 innings. And then Ethan Norby, the ace of the staff, set the tone for a good weekend at pitching.
Boy, Ethan was great, and worked with such great rhythm as he always does. Son Jenkins, we saw the electricity back in the fastball up to 94 several times last night. So, yeah, 2 great starts already. Let's see if Williams can make it a third.
That pitch was in the strike zone, but because the catcher did not receive it as a strike, Walker Barron, that becomes, I believe, ball 2.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of one of those unwritten rules, but that was certainly appeared to be a strike. But
right off the front foot of the powerful David Lewis.
Very un-Walker Barron-like to have a ball just kind of ejecto mid on him, but not sure if he might have been crossed up or something or just missed it.
We noted the Pirates' starting pitching success this weekend. This is an area Cliff Godwin would love to replicate from last year's club. 23-2 combined record for the starters, 1 through 3 a year ago. And that's partly what fueled the 46-win year for East Carolina.
Yeah, looking at, had that pitching staff been able to stay healthy the whole season, it would have been crazy to see what would have happened. And, the much-used Danny Bill was a stalwart out of the bullpen, got in and pitched himself out of a lot of situations, pitched a club out of a lot of situations. But, yeah, this staff is certainly deep, is probably as deep as any we've seen in a while.
And to your point, last year's team had a high bullpen innings usage in April and May that made the tournament run challenging. Cliff Godwin noted he loves the depth of his staff, not just 1 to 3, but up and down the bullpen. And they have been tested early in these first 3 weeks. Here's Lance Williams on 3-2, missing downstairs in a walk.
And if there's been a challenge with this staff, it's been the free passes, just like you just saw with Williams there. The other night we saw the bullpen come in and kind of give up some. And, of course, a couple 3-run home runs mixed in there. But that is, at one point the stats were almost identical, strikeouts and walks, and that's not a good place for your staff to be, and primarily those coming out of the bullpen.
And then the powerful Garrett Michelle, who has 4 hits and 2 doubles on the weekend, digs in. As you noted, the walk totals for East Carolina, it's not just the high walks. It's a low hit per 9 inning. They're in the bottom 25 in the country in fewest hits, but a lot of runners on base, high leverage situations start emerging.
Yeah, no, if they get the free passes out of it, I mean, it's a very impressive stat line. It's, but that's obviously a big if, but we've seen the first 2 guys and even Beschloss last night do a great job with just that, limiting the free passes.
Yeah, 1 combined walk in 7 innings yesterday. That's a pitching coach's dream if you're Austin Knight. And here's a bunt attempt for Michelle. He challenges the shift, and in there. No throw. Nice bunt single.
Interesting deal there, because that is not like what you see out of a typical Hokie offense, that they're going to play the small game. But to your point, Colby Wallace was over playing basically standard shortstop with Boucher shifted up the middle, and he takes advantage of it. So good bunt there. Now runners on first and second. Again, there's that, that free passes at second base. Let's keep an eye on that. If free passes with no outs at this level of baseball score an awful lot.
3rd sacrifice hit of the year for the Hokies. It's a rarity, but it cashes in. Here's Jackson Cherry, and he watches a strike. Virginia Tech offense that clubbed 10 runs in game 1. They scored 7, but a couple runs late to put away Kent State yesterday, and threatening here in the second. Cherry went around that time. It's 0-2.
Cherry comes up with a .533 average. Pretty impressive.
We'll take those numbers to the bank even on Sunday. Thank goodness the ATMs are open on the weekends. Cherry 8 RBI. That's in the top 5 in the ACC. Awaiting the 0-2. Hard hit ball. Williams the backhand stab. What a turn, Boucher for the double play.
Let me tell you something, that is a great play. I can't wait to look at that one again, and it kind of builds on what we saw those 2 guys do up the middle last night. But this ball's hit pretty firmly through the middle. You see Dixon gets a good jump on it. This is a great pickup here. Feed and Boucher with that big-time arm completes the turn. Good play by Irby over at first base. But, yeah, that's part 2 of the clinic they put on last night.
11 double plays turned for the Pirates. That's 8th in the country. Playing some really good defense coming in. 2 outs for Sam Tackett, the home run leader for the Hokies. And you noted not only the distance but the power of Tackett. He has been one of the stories of college baseball for the first 3 weeks. Redshirt senior who was a large utility player a year ago but making a huge difference today, swinging there.
Yeah, Tackett's batting average, another one of these gaudy ones, batting 500, and he would go, well, how many at-bats? I mean, he's got 34 ABs on the year, so this is a reasonably good-sized body of work to be this early in the season. So not only the juice, but 500 batting average is impressive.
Watches the pitch just inside. 3 home runs for Tackett in his opening weekend, clobbering Bucknell. And scored 48 runs in that series against Bucknell. That was a whole different start. Has just 1 home run in his last week, but has shown some good power in the tournament. There's strike 2. You factor in the winds blustering in about 10 miles an hour. These 2-out situations could loom large today here in Game 3. What can Lance Williams deal with 2 on and 2 out?
Nice job by the freshman to get himself back in this inning. Got a chance to get out of it unscathed here. 2-strike count with 2 outs.
Williams 2-2. Lays off the slider. It's a walk that kick-started the inning for the Hokies. And a club that left 13 on base yesterday, but found 3 runs late to overcome a late rally from Kent State. Here's Williams' payoff. That stays inside on a 2-seamer and 2 walks in the inning.
And that's going to get the maybe get the dander up a little bit. A pretty aggressive bat flip on ball 4, throwing the ball back towards his dugout. So we'll kind of keep an eye on that. You'll see here he takes ball 4 and fairly demonstrative here in the axe throw back over there. So see how that goes. Walker Berry gives him a little look like, man, chill out. Second inning, bud.
That is not something you see every day in the second inning. That's a really good point, Mike. I'd be curious how both staffs respond as we get to tense moments late in this game. And a huge swing from Anderson French, the catcher.
Well, I'll tell you what you do in situations like that. You may poke the proverbial bear. And, you know, Williams is a dude that can run it up there pretty good. So, you know, I don't know. Price of poker just went up a little bit. This thing just got a little more interesting.
2 on, 2 out for the true freshman out of Lewisburg, Pennsylvania. And did he go? No swing, says our third base umpire, Corey Hinga, today.
Wow, let's take a look at that one. I thought it was really close if he didn't go. I think they might have missed that one.
Big spot for freshman Lance Williams, who challenges with a breaking ball, strike 2.
You know, we're seeing Lance, the maturation of his philosophy and of the pitch calling for him, not just leaning on that fastball. We're seeing a steady diet of his secondary stuff. And really early in an outing. Normally, you know, you kind of want to try to get through without going to everything, but.
The freshman misses down. A runner takes off for second. And delayed steal will move Tackett in a scoring position.
No intention ever to throw down there. They full arm fake down to third base, little defensive indifference, and now 2 runners in scoring position.
Let's see if that makes a difference with 2 on and 2 out. Here's the 2-2. Now a full count as Williams has to labor through this second inning.
Yeah, it's something to watch. Pitch count's already at 37, so it's and these are not 37 low stress, low leverage pitches. It's, you know, they almost count 1.5 times when you know have to pitch in duress.
Here's pitch 25 of the inning. And a foul ball. That's been a huge area of growth for the Hokies in the first 3 weeks. Led the ACC in strikeouts a year ago. Have worked much better counts here under John Sheff in 2025. Lance Williams continues this 3-2 battle with a fastball for strike 3. Nice 2-seamer to end the threat.
Really good pitch there by Lance. Great job to keep the 0 on the scoreboard and get his guys back in the dugout.
The ECU freshman continues a quality weekend of starting pitching. Now the bats for the Pirates due next. Welcome back to Greenville, North Carolina. Great weekend for Virginia Tech starting pitching. The big story, just 2 combined runs between Renfro and Marciano to start the week. Now game 3, because the Hokies had a game on Monday, this becomes a whole staff effort as traditional weekend starter Grant Aycock, not part of the original plan today, so Cameron Lejeune gets the start. He goes just 1 inning, and this opens the door for 6th-year senior Grant Manning, who pitched 2 years before COVID even started. A lot of experience coming from Chapman University here to Virginia Tech.
Yeah, this is kind of interesting. I have to wonder, is Lejeune healthy? Did something happen in the outing? Did they see something they just didn't like, or was this the philosophy going in? But, yeah, we'll get another first pitcher 6'4". Now we get a 6'6" guy, and he's 6 years in school, man. This guy's, experienced, to say the least.
He is aged certainly like a fine wine. 17 career wins in 65 outings for Manning amongst the 2 programs. And this is his 2nd year here with John Sheff's Hokie Ball Club. Facing John Collins, the Boston College transfer, who went 1 for 4 in his lone start in a weekend series against the Hokies a year ago. Collins is having a surging week, 2 home runs here at this ballpark, and takes a home run hack there.
Yeah, big shot in the opposite field last night. Just big, strong, Big John, boy. He not the most poetic swing in the world, but he got a lot of barrel on it and drove it up into the trees out in right field.
Good breaking ball there, and it's 1-2. John Collins, who solidified the DH spot in the last 3 games, opened up his tenure as a pitch-hitting specialist in the first 2 weeks, and now earns the DH spot today. This ball's touched well to center, but it'll stay in a big ballpark with the wind blowing in. Loud first out.
Yeah, we had that play earlier where the center fielder kind of quasi-dove, looking like it was right in front of the left fielder, and the wind at that time was gusting across. So I think it was one of those situations where he may have made a premature call, and then the wind pushed it back, and he had to lay out to get it. So like we talked about earlier, the wind's going to be part of the story today for sure.
More of a situational kind of day than hitting bombs here to wrap up this weekend set. Roger Vergara, the starting left fielder, pops this out of play. Vergara had a hit as every Pirate in the lineup yesterday reached base. A 13-run outing, one of the better offensive games in Cliff Godwin's early season tenure. In a week where Coach Godwin earned his 400th win, he now looks to earn a co-championship here in the Keith LeClaire Classic. A Pirate win would put Kent State, ECU, and Virginia Tech each with 2 victories. Grant Manning spikes one in the turf.
Manning a little bigger fastball than we saw out of the start of Lejeune, but still going to the breaking ball a lot. But that fastball kind of arm side up and in, that thing's got some life on it and been up to 93.
You notice Manning there kind of smiling and shaking his head at the dugout while getting the pitch track call. Let's see what the 1-2 is. And he goes up and outside. I wonder, as a hitter, can you pick up on those trends as a pitcher reacts to the sign?
I mean, there's all kinds of tips and tells. You just kind of, you lock in and watch it through the course of the game, and some guys you get a little quicker than others.
Really good slider. That time it works well, 2 outs. Because we've seen in baseball pitchers maybe shake off a traditional sign if it's a fastball, go to a breaking ball, but now with the automatic pitches, it's a little harder to pick up those things.
Well, I mean, you can put whatever you want to on the watch, on your pad where you're sending them in. So you may have a shake the fastball sign call. You may see guys shake off, or a guy may wipe a chest with his glove. So, there are still ways of getting to the pitch that you want to throw.
A healthy hack for Walker Barron, the Pirate catcher.
I tell you, that's going to be hard to catch up. I mean, 94 up in the zone like that, it's going to be difficult.
Here's the 1-0 pitch from the 6'5", sixth-year senior who goes slider that time.
Tell you what, when you're 6'5", you're definitely going to create some tilt and some angle, and that 94, letting it go out of that big frame.
Another swing and a miss on the slider. And what a shutdown inning for Grant Manning out of the bullpen.
Yeah, I'll tell you what he did. He went up, then he went down a little bit and away, and then he finished it off at the bottom of the zone, changing eye, changing plane. Textbook.
Virginia Tech going to the bullpen early. The veteran takes care of the second. Welcome back to East Carolina, where Virginia Tech head coach John Sheff earned his 200th career victory in the Hokie Burgundy in 8 years. 2 tournament appearances, but back-to-back years after that, hosting a regional performance, unable to reach the tournament. Now an opportunity with this 9-2 start to have some big success heading into ACC play next week.
Yeah, coach is a old-school guy, and his team reflects that, and congratulations to him on the milestone 200th win.
8 years leading this Hokie ball club, a super regional appearance as well before Oklahoma came in 2021. Virginia Tech, though, 30-plus wins, back-to-back years, just short of the tournament, though, and that's the challenge in the ACC. Got to be above 500 to have a chance. As Clay Grady, the shortstop, takes downstairs. Grady's the 2-year starter at short, the Norfolk native. Now starting his 108th game today. Works a 3-0 count.
Tell you what we hadn't seen from Lance Williams, at least to this point in the outing, is the big fastball. He's got it. We've seen it before, but a little more maybe controlling, maybe a lot of folks, maybe a little more Maddox-like today.
I love watching those old Atlanta Braves highlights of the 90s.
Oh, yeah, you're talking about a guy that can pitch.
Maddox going to the golf course in the morning and then striking out 10 in the evening. Him and Glavine and Smoltz, what an era for Braves baseball. And then a bad defensive play for Boucher. First error for the Pirates.
You know, we've been bragging about the clinic, and we've seen some of that out of Boucher at different times with trouble with the kind of routine plays. We even had one yesterday. The last part of the game yesterday was so clean, and then we saw the plays earlier today. But, I mean, that's, quite frankly, that's about as simple as it gets and just gets away from it.
That puts a leadoff man on for Virginia Tech. And now a quick meeting with the ECU pitching staff with bullpen getting ready.
You know, we've already seen Tech go to the sack bunt one time, which is very uncharacteristic. Now they've got the speedy leadoff guy Davis to the plate. Let's see if they try to put something on here as well. Probably part of the discussion here. Again, keeping an eye on Williams' pitch count up to 44. Next pitch will be 45. I can't imagine, you know, that's probably halfway of what his total allowance will be today, depending on, you know, kind of how he gets to that number. But
and to your point, he's only thrown 41 as a career high for a true freshman.
Yep.
And through Wednesday with 35 pitches.
You know, typically in this spot to this point in the season, we've seen Bradley Zayak, and not sure what his status is. I did see a shot of him in the dugout earlier, so not sure if he's available or not today. But again, you know, Coach Knight and Coach Galvin have been sparingly using the bullpen so far this weekend, and we've kind of seen. We saw DiLorenzo game one. We saw a handful of guys game one. Only Beschloss yesterday, so they should have some guys that are ready and capable of going.
So a leadoff error sets up Jared Davis in the top of the order. He looks to bunt. Runner going, and Barron's throw is a bullet. What a response by the Pirate catcher.
I hope he's okay down there. There was a collision with Dixon Williams' shin and maybe the shoulder. Yeah, it looks like his shoulder.
Yeah, good point. Unfortunately,
for
Grady's down.
Yeah, I was kind of concerned as well for Dixon, like it got him right on the shin. But clearly Grady is in some pain. I don't know if it was head or shoulder specifically. It looks like shoulder. But either way, he went in hard, and there was some violence in that collision.
Athletic training staff coming out.
Yeah, I think kind of see if we can get a better feel here. See the jump, head down. Let's see what the contact point is.
Oh, the leg. Oh,
yeah,
man.
Kind of side of the face with Dixon's knee. Yeah, I would think there would be some concern about the possibility of a concussion, maybe. Obviously, a potential of a dislocation in the shoulder without us knowing more specifically
and
about where the
for the runner,
is.
with where the leg's located, you have to go through that leg, so it's basically straight contact to the body there.
Well, and Dixon Williams' legs are nothing small about those, and he took that knee again somewhere. They're going to bring the stretcher out to load the player up, so nothing but thoughts and prayers go out to the young Grady.
With some medical attention coming, we'll take the timeout and return to Greenville in a moment. Welcome back to Greenville, North Carolina. Clay Grady, the runner who was tagged out a moment ago, still remains down, so a chance to athletic training staff taking a look at Clay. We'll give you an update as we have more details, but we're going to take a quick timeout. Clay still being attended to on the field, and we'll return in just a couple of minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, number 9, Clay Grady.
Welcome back to Greenville, North Carolina. Good to see Clay Grady back on his feet, and a fan base here at East Carolina that certainly appreciates baseball and hard-working players. A nice round of applause as Grady, we'll check on him during the half inning, but he's now back in the dugout. The out was confirmed on the review, so one out here in the top of the third. And a ground ball that sneaks through for a base hit. Jared Davis now has a chance for extra bases. And a one-out double for Davis, kick-starting the Hokies.
Yeah, great sign. Grady leaving the field under his own power, and his teammate Davis picks him up there and pulls the ball right down the line past the diving Colby Wallace into the corner, and Vergara gets it back in, and the speedy Davis into second base with the stand-up double.
Certainly a mix of emotions, you noted, Mike, but it's good to see both teams competing, getting after it. And we certainly hope the best for Clay Grady as he gets treated in the dugout.
Yeah, even as he was leaving the field, there was one of the assistant coaches on staff that was still going at the first base umpire pretty aggressively, and I think there may have been some concern about the blocking of that bag or some part of the call. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but anyway, we're back at it, and all that's in the past, and it appears Grady will be all right.
Jared Davis with his fourth double of the year, and that's where Virginia Tech's been special. A nation-leading 38 knocks on the year. And this is Ben Watson, who works ball one. Always a question for pitchers, too, with a timing and a rhythm standpoint when you have these 5-10 minute delays.
Yeah, it's certainly not preferable, but, you know, we talk about when players control the controllables, and that's one that was out of his control, so now he's got to go right back at it. We're getting a trip now maybe to check on.
Yeah, Knight and Godwin come out.
Yeah, and they're having a conversation with the umpire, and out comes the trainer as well. So I don't know if they're going to check on the pitcher or Dixon.
That's where Hunter Martin is now coming out. Having a quick chat with Williams.
I'm good, he says. Not that I'm a.
You're the best lip reader we have on ESPN Plus, Mike, so I'll take your word for it.
It's kind of interesting. This thing's start, stop, and just trying to figure this out. He's going to make a move.
Cliff's going to make a substitution, not necessarily for injury, but making the pitching change here in the third.
So if this is deemed to be injury-related, then the incoming pitcher will have all the time he needs on the mound. So we'll see how all this shakes out, and maybe at some point we'll get back to the rhythm of a baseball game.
Couple of changes here in the top of the third. New arm for the Pirates enters after this timeout. Battle of the bullpens continue here in Greenville when we come back. Ethan Young enters for the Pirates here in the third inning. Both clubs to the bullpen early. It's a well-rested Pirate bullpen. Young yet to pitch in this tournament. What does Ethan Young provide for East Carolina?
Yeah, big breaking ball and some, a little bit of experience. It's rare that the junior class is up there for an East Carolina pitcher out of the pen, but the transfer is a good breaking ball. Again, has towed the bump quite a bit in his collegiate career.
At Hillsborough Community College, then Catawba Valley a year ago. And Young in just 10 innings of work. You got to like the strikeouts, 12 Ks and only 3 runs allowed.
Pretty good breaking ball. Fastball's not necessarily dominant. Kind of sets up that breaking pitch with the fastball. So we'll keep an eye on him and see how many more pitchers we see today. This could be a kind of quasi Johnny Holstaff on both sides.
Like many pitchers in the bullpen, Cliff Godwin noted this spring, if he can clean things up and be consistent, Ethan Young, they love his stuff as a mid-reliever. And he'll have to enter early in this game as Lance Williams was being attended to by the staff, and they took him out just a moment ago.
Not sure what the situation was with Williams' injury. It was definitely something that, Coach Knight was out of the dugout like he was shot out of there, so it was something he saw pretty quickly that he didn't like. And also Williams, about to throw his 50th pitch with his 40-pitch max. So max to this point in the season, his freshman year. So who knows, probably a combination of things, but we are now back at it.
Ben Watson in the 1-1 count. Faces the new pitcher Young out of the Pirate bullpen, who delivers a strike. From a depth standpoint, one of the deeper Pirate pens in the last few years for Cliff Godwin. That'll be tested today with just a 2-inning start. And what a filthy breaking ball for the punch-out.
Yeah, that's it. That's the money pitch for him, and that one good enough to take the hitter Watson down to a D. So see here again, pretty good stuff. A little depth, and I'm not sure exactly. That was almost athletic how Watson swung at that to a knee and then gets himself right back up, but good pitch.
So Watson goes down fishing. Here's David McCann, the DH, who's 1 for 6 on the weekend. McCann lays off. You're right. The way that same pitch presents starting at the belt and falling off is unhittable. When it starts at the knees, you can make that adjustment. Third time's the charm, but that pitch stays in the turf.
Tell you what, the caught stealing of Grady is a big deal at this point. That would have been a run scored off the double for Davis. Now the Pirate staff has 2 outs.
David McCann, who started 26 games a year ago, he wore the number 40, upgraded his jersey this year as a fourth-year redshirt junior, and out in front of that breaking pitch.
Yes, confidence in the off-speed there, 2-0 off-speed offering. Feeling pretty confident that that McCann, the Hokie hitter, was sitting dead red on fastball.
The double for Davis, now on with 2 outs. And that 2-1 is tipped foul. For a hitter, McCann is just 1 for his last 13. A little bit of a slump as we hit week 3 of the season.
You know what, I think you'll see these Hokies numbers will probably level out a little bit after the bludgeoning they put on Bucknell early, and now, you know, as the season goes on, obviously the numbers will change dramatically as does the competition level.
Runner moving, ball blasted. And you can tell it's going to be hard to clear one out of Clark LeClaire Stadium today. Long out for Peltier. A scoreless third for the Pirate bullpen. Now Drew Downs leads things off when we come back.
We call it drive. The unrelenting desire to become the person you were born to be. Ignited by a moment. The realization that a future you could only dream of is within reach. At East Carolina University, you won't just imagine a path. You'll forge one through hard work and the success that comes without surrender. The journey that leads to your future. And this is where it begins.
There's only one way to win. It doesn't have shortcuts. It's a spirit to outwork, outsmart, and outlast the competition.
Catch me if you can.
It demands boldness, grit, and guts. It says we can, and we will. It's what separates us from the rest. There's only one way to greatness, and that's the American way.
Welcome back to East Carolina, and a coach who knows so much about the LeClaire Classic. Cliff Godwin, the East Carolina alum, earned his 400th win on Wednesday. And it's been an interesting start for East Carolina, struggling here at home in the first 3 weeks, but finding their rhythm in the last 2 games.
Yeah, they, Old Dominion kind of was a turning point, and then the stumble against Kent State. But back on track last night with the Sycamores and in a 0-0 contest here today.
First season in quite some time, Cliff Godwin working out of the dugout with his team on offense, leaning on the associate head coach, Jeff Palumbo, to operate third base. But his offense has come to play. 13 runs yesterday, put up a 6th spot early against Kent State Friday. And now Drew Downs, the right fielder, will lead things off in a 1-1 count.
You know, we hadn't seen Drew very much at all until this weekend, and he's been in the lineup each of the last 3 days.
For those kids, the best seat in the house. Doesn't matter where you're at. College baseball on a Sunday, as that pitch is in for a strike. It was 75 on Friday. Now we're in the 40s today.
Yeah, it is not 75 today.
North Carolina playing some tricks on us as we kickstart the month of March. Here's the 1-2 to Downs. And he goes down on the slider. Good start for Grant Manning, the Chapman transfer to his 6th year.
Yeah, we were curious as to whether or not Virginia Tech was going with some type of bullpen look, but Grant Manning comes back out and First guy he faces in this inning downs, gets him with a strikeout. It's kind of interesting. Last night we noted the Pirate batters, their hands slipping off the bat. I don't know, maybe we thought it was due to the stuff that they were facing last night, but it may be a similar situation there, but we see it again with Drew Downs.
Alex Boucher goes first pitch hacking and fouls that one off. The Old Dominion transfer who faced his former foes on Wednesday has been mired with some tough defensive luck in the first 3 weeks. 6 errors to lead his Pirate defense, but showing some prowess offensively.
Maybe as of late he's figured some things out, but certainly not at the clip he wants to be at just yet. Ev, he's, yesterday, good day, drove a ball through the box. That was, again, a sign of life. But he had the error earlier today, and just got to be a little more consistent on both sides.
Working through his first year in the purple and gold as that breaking ball's in for a strike. Boucher was a .240 hitter for Old Dominion a year ago, elite at turning double plays, and we've seen that already today with Williams. As the 1-2 is rocketed into left. There's a good start for Boucher. He's 1 for 1 with a single.
That's what the Pirate faithful want to see, and the boo chants now turn into applause for him. Little 1-out knock there. Hanging breaking ball, stays right on it, and drives it into left field.
Second hit for East Carolina today. And now the top of the order. A spot where Riley Johnson a year ago had a nearly .450 on-base percentage. What a threat. We'll see if Alex Potier can fill that void today as he takes a strike. I do think once Johnson returns in the coming weeks, that adds such a dimension to this ECU offense.
Yeah, it's, just the spirit and the effort and the energy by which Riley goes at it, and the fans love watching him. And the center field he plays is not to be overlooked. He is just a magician out there, but certainly a spark plug at the top of the lineup. So hopefully for the Pirate fans, he'll get himself healthy and get back in the lineup sooner than later.
Sixth-year veteran Grant Manning working in his second inning of relief and giving a lot of attention to Boucher. Only 8 steals on the year for the Pirates. They are among the top 20 teams in sacrifice bunts in college baseball this year.
And there's, sack bunts and stolen bases are only possible when you have guys on, and that's been a struggle early. Has gotten much better of late, but it's hard to bunt them over when they're not on, or when you're playing with a bigger deficit, or kind of situationally dictated. But yeah, it's nobody watching this broadcast thinks that Cliff Godwin and Jeff Palumbo won't bunt at any time.
Now in an 0-2 count. Late on the fastball, and that 93's got some life to it for Grant Manning.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's a lot of levers, arms and legs coming at you, and Peltier is mired in a little bit of a slump right here. Maybe not even quite long enough to be a slump, but struggling a little bit at the plate for a guy that has been so good as a true freshman. But I'm sure he'll get it figured out.
Yeah, at 6'5", it's the way Chris Young of the San Diego Padres would come at you so late in the delivery. Manning hides the ball pretty well for a big body. And I think to your point, it's speeding up on these hitters. As here's Dixon Williams, who rocketed a single back in the first inning.
Yeah, Manning already with 4 strikeouts on the day. And that's something we have seen out of this Pirate offense when they face, a little higher level of quality of pitching, is the strikeout numbers tend to grow as well. We've seen some big strikeout numbers in specific games, and something that is of concern, but you got to figure out how to battle these guys.
And if you're Cliff Godwin last night, to your point, only 4 Ks, 8 walks in the win over Indiana State. Different level of pitching than what they saw last night, but that's the formula for this East Carolina team.
Yeah, they made a bunch of loud outs last night too. Balls just hit right at people, but were rockets.
Good changeup there for Manning for strike 2.
And see, that's the mix there. Out of that body type, you've gone that soft stuff now. You kind of got Dixon set up to to go where you want to go, and that top half of the strike zone fastball with some spin rate and coming out of that angle, it's just going to be hard to handle.
Now the 0-2. Williams goes chasing.
Back to the off speed, and Dixon just couldn't hang up.
Grant Williams putting on a show out of the bullpen here for Virginia Tech. One of the oldest arms in college baseball, showing us a new trick through 3 innings. Welcome back to Greenville. This is the final day of the Keith LeClaire Classic. A tournament dates all the way back to 2004. It's a unique tournament because of the history and the tradition to Coach Keith LeClaire that means so much here in Greenville. But then, too, some high-quality baseball year in and year out, including this weekend where there's a chance for 3 teams to go 2-1 in the tournament.
Yeah, pretty cool. Got to see Audrey and Lynn LeClaire here yesterday, and Audrey threw out the first pitch. And as I was leaving, they were down in the letter winners area, so I got a chance to just say hello. But always great to see them in the this tournament. It's hard to believe it's been 22 seasons.
It sets up the top of the 4th here in Greenville, the special 23 uniforms to honor Coach LeClaire. And Virginia Tech comes into town red hot offensively, but held in check by Lance Williams and Ethan Young, who have tag teamed it. A name in Greenville that is so synonymous with this baseball program. You see the quote from Keith sitting on that third base concourse. The special hats that have decked out the ballpark this week. And these last 2 weeks alone, playing North Carolina and then honoring a legendary coach back-to-back, it really sets the stage for a fun month of March here in college baseball. Great breaking ball for strike 2.
Tell you what, Lewis did Ethan Young a favor there, waving at that breaking ball off the plate. Probably go back to it.
Here's the 2-2. Another swing, and the bat goes flying. Had a little injury to insult there on the punch-out.
Yeah, I don't know. The pine tar is not working real well here the last couple games, and that one gets out of the hands of the Hokie hitter and makes its way over towards the East Carolina dugout.
Now the fun scenario is that's a drop third strike and the bat and the ball go flying. Then you kind of get the circus music playing. But yeah, it's happened to both teams this week. Wonder if the cold weather's making that more difficult to grip the bat just right.
It was 75 yesterday. I mean, so, no rain. I don't know.
Grant Michelle tips one off of Walker Barron.
May just be big swings at good stuff,
Here's the 1-1. Another good breaking pitch, 1-2. That went way inside to Michelle.
Buzzed the tower on that a little bit, got away from him.
Grant Michelle has not only been a tough out in this game, but in terms of nationally, top 10 in the ACC in batting average coming in. He's off the splitter, 3-2. The payoff got him chasing. Good use of the split finger.
Tell you what, Ethan Young's feeling it a little bit today. Back-to-back strikeouts, 3 already on his outing. It's the secondary stuff, man. It's just been so good, and it's was kind of the book on him coming in.
And Cliff Godwin noted more consistency in the fall. If he could translate that to the spring, he could be an elite mid-relief arm. This is a promising outing for Ethan Young. Jackson Sherry pops up the first pitch.
And I will tell you, the fastball from Ethan Young is much bigger than I've seen it. And I've seen him a handful of times, but that went up there at 96 miles an hour. I didn't know, quite frankly, I didn't know he had that in him.
Hardest pitch of the day for the right-hander, who then flips in 78. Call just up.
Roger Vergara out there with the Jungle Faithful.
A place that's much more difficult as an opposing team member to hear the jostling and the heckling throughout the weekend. But even on a cold day, there's plenty of folks out there in the jungle. They're just more bundled up. As that changeup makes it 2-2.
Tell you what, there's no comfort with these Hokie hitters as it relates to what they're seeing from Young. There some pretty bad swings. He's got them fooled a bit.
The 2-2 fouled off.
Defensive hack there by Cherry, top of the strike zone at 94 miles an hour for Ethan Young.
5th home game of the week, and this crowd has been excellent. 5,000 last night after a big win for the basketball program earlier today. Still a good crowd in attendance today. And that breaking ball stays just down for a full count.
Yeah, I think maybe off, maybe more than even down, but you see, probably partly might be the way, Walker Barron kind of has to backhand that and then bring it back to the strike zone, but a good breaking pitch either way.
Here's the 3-2. Good pitch. 96 and a little bit of juice to heat us up on this cold Sunday.
Tell you what, 3-2 fastball, 96, center cut, just went right at him.
Ethan Young, one of the top young arms for the Pirates. He's bringing it out of the bullpen. 3 up, 3 down, all Ks for ECU. Welcome to the bottom of the fourth, the de facto championship game of the Keith LeClaire Classic. Virginia Tech undefeated on the weekend. ECU 1-1. And a pitcher's duel so far in Greenville, North Carolina, as that pitch flips into Colby Wallace, the Pirates' second-year third baseman.
Tell you what, both these pitchers have run up some strikeout numbers. I think Manning's up to 5 or 6 in his time in the game, and hitters having a tough time dealing with these guys.
And between Manning and Young, both pitchers have kept these hitters way off balance.
Yeah, not a lot of comfort, with the hitters. You could tell a lot about how a guy takes a pitch or even swings through a pitch, and both teams are having a difficult time figuring out these arms.
The 0-2 is popped up. This might stay in the yard. Oh, what an effort, but out of play for Michelle. Yeah, that wind is not too kind to a hitter today.
You know what? It's been literally, the flag has been as still as possible, and then now it's back rolling back in. I mean, and you've got the American flag up on the tall pole, but then it's the lower pole, the flags, the conference flag and the state flag. They're all just blowing in. So it's kind of off and on, start to stop all day.
Way up and inside. Whew.
We saw that a minute ago with Young. He got away from him. Now Manning, same issue. Of course, we've seen bats flying out of hands and all kinds of stuff, so who knows?
The battle continues, 1-2 for Wallace. And he goes down chasing. Great outing for Grant Manning, his longest appearance in a Hokie uniform.
Yeah, I will tell you, if anybody thought that pitch up around Colby Wallace's head had any kind of intent, I can assure you that the last guy that these Hokies want to hit is a guy that has had the struggles that Colby Wallace has kind of been dealing with offensively, especially when you got him buried in a count.
So to your point, that pitch up and in sets up anything away.
Helps a lot. Just got away from him a little bit.
Leads to a 6th strikeout for Manning. The last of the COVID class of pitchers, 6th-year senior Grant Manning.
You see him telling himself either to calm down or maybe pull down on that pitch a little bit harder, or it could be possibly both. Big, deep breath.
Manning's coming out party was last year in a spot start against Carolina. He went 5 innings and struck out 8 in a late appearance here on the start, basically the day of. Hokies, though, lost the series down the stretch, then eliminated from the ACC tournament and did not qualify for the NCAAs. This is a promising start here for Grant Manning out of the pen.
Yeah, it looks to me like he's getting a little bit frustrated with that breaking pitch. It seems to kind of have left him. And, he's a veteran guy. You see him going through his routine, big, deep breath, shoulders drop, all the things of relaxation that you talk to your players about.
Can't find it there, so it's 3-1. Bullpen quiet for Virginia Tech here in the 4th.
Tell you what, I think Irby may get a center cut fastball here. See if he can get off a good swing.
The 3-1 hit hard but foul.
And it wasn't a fastball, off-speed pitch, but it was right down the middle. I think Irby was probably guessing along with me that the last thing that Manning wanted to do was put him on via base on balls.
A special walk to strikeout ratio for Irby coming as he battles that setting sun. A bright night here in Greenville for the 3-2. And he gets just a piece. I love the confidence there of Irby pounding his chest, too, looking to compete with 2 strikes.
Well, different opinions for different people on that is certainly something this Pirate Club does top to bottom, and I guess it's a reminder to themselves that, hey, we're going to fight our way through this at bat.
He fights a ground ball foul, and the at-bat continues.
We've talked about it throughout other broadcasts, but, it's just the animation of today's game is just so much different. I mean, we've seen the Hokie runners on base and doing the sellies and all this stuff, and it's just, again, different programs have different philosophies on that. Different generations of baseball people have opinions on it, and they vary largely with age and when you played and what your experience was.
That ball stays fair. What a snag by Michelle, and better coverage Virginia Tech playing some good defense.
I tell you what, really that's a great play by Michelle at first base, but a ball that perceives or looks to be foul, Manning could have fallen asleep, but you see him immediately heading that way over that way, picks up the pace, takes the feed, and steps on the bag in plenty of time to get Austin Irby out. Good play both ways. PFPs in September, they pay off even in the start of March. It's a long process to gear up for the start of this baseball year. We're in week 4 of the college baseball season. And a filthy swing and a miss. That ball bounced in front of the plate. Yeah, that is 100% guessing or maybe even hoping you're getting a fastball. You're going to get a swing off on it either way, and that was kind of a 55-footer, never even made it to the plate. This is John Collins at the plate, and he watches a breaking ball for strike 2. So now you have all the options in the world if you're Grant Manning. Yeah, I'm going to tell you, as bad as Collins has looked on those two, I'm going to try that again, maybe off the plate here. See if I can get him to swing in another one. The 0-2 gets a swing and a miss. He got the guessing Collins for a 3-pitch strikeout. Yeah, I don't think Collins wanted any part of Manning in that at bat. That's as wildly as we've seen him swing the bat at any point this season. 3 scoreless for Grant Manning out of the bullpen. Let's go 5 in this pitcher's duel. Welcome back to Greenville, North Carolina. A special weekend for the Keith LeClerc Classic, honoring the longtime head coach. Not only was very successful, but impactful during his 5-6-year tenure here at East Carolina. The fallen coach that they honored for the last 20 years with this tournament. And a neat weekend to celebrate Coach LeClerc and not only highlight his success on the field, but his impact here in the town of Greenville. Yeah, his success and impact, you're exactly right. But, success and impact also at Western Carolina, where he played as a Catamount, player and coach there before coming to East Carolina. So a guy that has left a legacy all throughout college baseball. A pitcher's duel here in the 5th for the Keith LeClerc Classic, and a check swing from the middle of this Virginia Tech lineup, Sam Tackett, who walked his first time up. Here's a line drive up the middle and a base hit, 3rd hit of the day for Virginia Tech. Yeah, something we hadn't seen in a while for either club was a base hit. And we have, earlier we alluded to the fact that Virginia Tech doesn't typically play small ball, but we've seen a couple efforts at it here already today. And I would assume with the catcher, the 8-spot hitter in the lineup coming to the plate, I would expect that we will probably see something relatively early. Anderson French, who earns his first start of the weekend behind the plate today, takes that pitch outside.
Virginia Tech starting catcher Henry Cook has just come back from injury in the last 2 weeks, so French has filled a lot of those duties in the opening stanza of this season. As Ethan Young gives attention to the Hokie running game.
Yeah, and that's a pick over to see if you get any indication from French if he's going to show the bunt. Super conservative lead.
And a pitch that stays down for a 2-0 count.
You know, the shorter those leads over there, it kind of makes you think maybe hit and run, maybe something, but he literally was right just barely past Austin Irby at first base.
One thing, if you're East Carolina, you have to like the performance of your bullpen today with Ethan Young earning some quality innings last night, a scoreless inning as well. After Friday, a disappointing 7th inning out of relief. They've done a much better job since. And now a 3-1 count.
I got to be honest with you. We've already seen 2 sack attempts, and you got the 8-spot guy. Now I understand it's a 3-1 count. Now I don't know if he'd go to it at this point, but really surprising that they didn't try to get that runner into scoring position.
Here's the 3-1, and all of a sudden a walk puts 2 men on,
and that will put that runner into scoring position for free.
Putting a test on this Pirate pitching staff that had rolled through 4 innings. A little different story now in the 5th. And here comes a meeting with Austin Knight, the pitching coach.
This will bring the new shortstop to the plate, the replacement for the young man that was hurt, for Clay Grady. Ethan Gibson.
Any thought to small ball here for Virginia Tech? We haven't seen much of it.
Well, like I just said with the last hitter, I would have thought that would have been the time. Now you got a guy at the plate hitting 182s, very, very limited experience. I would absolutely think it will happen here. I'm sure that was probably part of what Coach Knight said is, hey, listen, guy off the bench here has had very few at-bats. I would fully expect them to bunt him up now and get 2 runners in scoring position, but we'll see how the Hokies play it. They surprised me in the last at-bat.
2 on, nobody out, and here's the bunt attempt. That is successful, moving 2 over. Ethan Gibson gets the job done.
You know, the only thought I could think with looking at Ethan Gibson's numbers and the lack of playing time is that they maybe felt like, hey, our best chance is with French as far as, getting a hit or doing anything that will get that runner over. So not really wanting to put that on Gibson, but now they've won out and they've turned it over to the top of the order with runners on 2nd and 3rd.
And a rare opportunity here to get some offense if you're Virginia Tech. Top of the lineup. Jared Davis and his 9 RBI now dig in. Good pitch from Young. The Hokies' top 3 RBI threats, Eddie Micheletti, Ben Watson, and Chris Cannizzaro from last year, all have graduated, so it's a wide open lineup. Let's see what Davis can do in this spot. Big pitch coming for Ethan Young, up 0-2. And he gets the chase, the slider for the punch out.
There again, he really threw 1 strike in that at bat. The leadoff guy was just a little overly aggressive, and Davis takes 2 swings at breaking balls off the plate. So, once you see that that's a tendency or an issue, absolutely expose it until they prove to you that they're gonna lay off that pitch. So, great job there by Ethan Young.
Two outs for Ben Watson. He goes first pitch hacking. Williams is there, and Ethan Young gets out of the jam. First big threats for the Hokies, and it's the young arms of the Pirates doing their part tonight. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th in this scoreless final game of the weekend. A tournament that's brought so much in the history of East Carolina, the Keith LeClaire Classic. And look at the coaching tree, both college and the MLB ranks that have come together. Clayton McCullough with the Marlins, of course, Cliff Godwin still here at East Carolina, and Eric Bakich, who's had so much success up and down the country. It's neat to see the lineage of coaches who've been connected to Keith LeClaire throughout his tenure.
Yeah, that's just the tip of the iceberg, just guys that are maybe more familiar to a lot of folks here. You throw Bryant Ward in at UCLA, and Joe Hastings is out in professional baseball. Sam Nairn in pro ball. Nick Schnabel is. Eric Bakich is. I mean, the list truly goes on and on. We can fill up the rest of the broadcast trying to name everybody.
Some of the neat stories that come together during this annual Keith LeClaire Classic. 22nd year of this great tournament. And this edition's been a pitcher matchup all weekend. As I believe Grant Manning has a pitch comm issue. The good news for Manning, it doesn't matter what's been called, he's been blowing down hitters, 7 Ks and 3 scoreless innings.
You know, all these technology pieces that tend to speed the game up, and here we are in yet another delay. This has been a fairly choppy game from a rhythm standpoint due to obviously an injury, actually a couple injuries, and now this. So anyway, beautiful Sunday afternoon, nothing better to do.
A great Sunday night for college baseball here in Greenville on a week that started with a Monday night game against North Carolina with some weird weather last week. Roger Vergara on the bottom 4 in the Pirate lineup. Grant Manning's been nearly untouchable, just 1 hit surrendered today, and he works in a 1-1 count.
Speedy Vergara not afraid to lay a bunt down, and the third baseman Lewis for Virginia Tech aware of it for sure.
Good swing and a miss. It's 1-2. Nearly untouchable. The 6th-year senior today. Largely a bullpen arm last year for John Sheff. He's finding the rhythm today. But spikes that one.
Yeah, it seemed like he'd kind of lost that breaking ball in the last inning, but certainly found it with the little help from John Collins, but seems to maybe have brought it back just a hair. See everybody bundled up over there above third base. It's chilly.
The 2-2 on a chilly Sunday night is grounded hard to second. Easy play for Davis and 1 quick out. How do either of these teams manufacture some offense today?
Yeah, the hit we had in the last inning, the offensive half for Virginia Tech felt like it was the first hit of the game. I know there's a couple up there, but they were so long ago. But it's been a pitching dominant performance for both clubs to this point.
Walker Barron, who's 2 for 8 on the weekend, now digs in. He was a strikeout victim of Manning. And one thing we've seen against Grant Manning is some rough swings and misses. He's kept hitters way off balance. Good breaking ball in for a strike. There's a hard hit ball into the gap, and Walker Barron with a base hit. Just the third hit for East Carolina today, and it's a one-out single.
Yeah, Walker Barron figured out the solution there, at least on that swing for Manning. See here, fastball, kind of center cut, and drives it out in the left center for a one-out hit. A little I love you to the folks over there, and there's a little animation by Walker Barron.
And change is coming now for East Carolina. Drew Downs was supposed to be the hitter.
Looks like this is potentially Braden Burris is my. No, it's.
Is that Jack Herring?
Yes, it is.
And the reason for our confusion today, this weekend, every player is wearing 23 in honor of Coach LeClaire. So just on the left shoulder there, you get the answer to the test.
Yep, Jack Herring. Good call.
Jack Herring, the Rollins College transfer.
You know, a guy who has played a fair amount this season. Last we saw him was in right field and kind of bounced around a little bit.
There's strike one to Herring as Coach Goblin looks to shake up his lineup here in the fifth.
Tough assignment here for Herring. You know, you've been sitting over there and kind of chilly, and you got a big 6'6" righty up there that's carving your buddies up, and Coach looks at you and says, grab a bat. Pitch hitting is tough anyway.
There's the 0-1. Manning with a changeup that time. Good pitch. And at just 50 pitches, or 52 now officially, Manning looks very comfortable through 4 innings.
Look at that split, 40 strikes to 12 balls. That's pretty impressive. Wonder how many of those would have been called strikes without the swings.
Ryan Fectu, the pitching coach, has to be pleased with this start. We saw the graphic earlier. Both starters coming into the weekend, Brett Renfroe and then Jake Marciano, go 5+. Another good outing for Manning, replacing Cameron Lejeune. The 1-2 skips away. And now it almost rolls into the dugout. But a good stab by French to keep that ball from giving away 90 feet.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that was. You know what? It almost just looked like a spiked fastball. It didn't, and it didn't read, so I don't know what the velocity was. But nonetheless, it's just a spike pitch that, again, doesn't even make it to the plate. Ball gets away and advances runner for the Pirates in scoring position.
A chance for some rare offense tonight. Pirates have only stranded 2 on the bases because of the good work of Grant Manning, the 6th-year senior, who goes breaking ball again for the punch-out. French with the throw there to complete the second out.
Really nice job by French. Keep an eye on Walker Barron down at second base. Keep him not allowing him to stray too far from the bag. You'll see it. That's a hammer breaking ball. Good job by French and quick AB there and punch out.
So Alex Boucher up with 2 outs. That's way up and inside.
I mean, that is a fastball with life that's just absolutely running in on that right-handed hitter. And when the breaking ball's been good, it's been exceptional. He has certainly thrown some that have gotten away from him, but when it's good, it's really good.
Now Boucher pops it up. This is carrying Boucher to the wall, and it's out of here. The bats come to life in the 5th. Boucher's second knock of the day.
That ball stayed up there for a long time. Boucher got the barrel to that offering from Manning, drives it out right over there by the Bojangles sign. The fans in the jungle get a souvenir. Big 2-run home run for Alex Boucher.
Third home run of his young season, and we noted with the wind blowing in today, it would take a missile to get out of here.
You know, if you'll note right now, too, Ev, the flag is back in that position where we're in between the gusty moments, and he picked a great spot. But you're right, if the wind was howling like it was earlier, it'd be interesting to see if that would have gotten out. But nonetheless, 2-0 lead for the Pirates.
They will take it the way this offense has started for both teams. Alex Peltier in the top of the lineup. Grant Williams' first mistake. Grant Manning, he had been darn near perfect today. Fooling hitters, keeping batters off balance, but one hanging breaking ball, and it's 2-0.
Very similar pitch right there is to the one that Boucher hit out of the park. That breaking ball that just stays right up around the belt. Still buckled Peltier just a little bit.
The 1-1 lays off. And no swing on that attempt.
The old show bun after the home run, see if you can catch him napping.
That's a really good slider, 2-2. It's been that kind of game where nothing has come easy through the first half. And now the 2-2 stays down.
Good take by Peltier. We've been talking about how he's having a little freshman struggles up there here, his last handful of ABs. So this is a big confidence moment for him.
The payoff rolls foul.
Coach Godwin used a term in one of his press conferences that he felt like some of the young guys were a little bit sped up, and that's kind of the feel I get from Peltier right now, is that and you see him trying to slow himself down, but that everything's moving a little faster right now than it really has moved for him this year. He's been so confident, been such a productive player, but got to settle in.
The 3-2 off the hands and out of play. It's been a much more strenuous inning for Manning than his first 4 of relief. And the 2-run homer for Alex Boucher, the big difference.
Yeah, early in his appearance, he was absolutely cruising. Now Peltier giving him a good fight. And again, whichever way this shakes out, it's been a much better at bat for Peltier than what we've seen the last few.
There's a fast breaking ball punch out. 9 Ks for Grant Manning, and he gets out of trouble. Alex Boucher provides offensive life in this final day of the Keith LeClerc Classic. His 3rd home run of the year, and we have offense through 5. Welcome back to some beautiful live shots of Clark LeClair Stadium. This sunset makes for a gorgeous night. The Bats have come to play for East Carolina in the 5th, and now in the 6th inning, Ethan Young looks to continue a quality outing. 2 2/3, all scoreless, 5 punch-outs, and now he faces the heart of the Hokies lineup that leads the country in doubles coming in. This is David McCann, the DH, and he'll take a strike.
This is certainly a chance for Young to play offense on defense, a 3-up, 3-down inning. If he can make quick work of this Hokie offense, get his team back in the dugout, that would be a huge deal. Kind of hang on to the momentum for the Pirates.
A top 5 batting average, home run, and on-base team in the country held in check today between Lance Williams and Ethan Young so far.
It'll be interesting. Again, some inflated stats coming off the early matchups for the Hokies. It'll be interesting to see where their numbers shake out towards the end of the year, especially as they get into the chainsaw grind that is the ACC.
The Hokies open ACC play next week, in fact, and then dive into matchups with NC State and Wake Forest in the first 3 weeks, along with Georgia Tech and what Drew Burris can do, one of the best sophomores in the country. Ethan Young and the Pirates continue non-con play with a good fastball, 94. 40 pitches into his outing.
6 strikeouts on the day, and it has been he has been effective. I mean, and dominant almost. The secondary stuff is so good. We've seen the fastball up to 96. Be curious to see how far they can extend him. They have had Pruitt up in the Pirate pen playing toss, but right now I think Ethan Young's cruising.
First pitch grooves into David Lewis. That's called a ball. One of the hardest velo pitches for Young today, 95. He's feeling some momentum. We noted the Hokies beginning conference play this week. East Carolina does not open conference play until March 21st, so some time to work out the kinks of this 4-6 start. We have seen a much better outing in these first 3 games of the tournament.
Well, yeah, starting pitching's been really good.
They'll open with Memphis March 21st. And the 1-1 is way up.
A little look back out.
The 2-1 and a rare 3-ball count for Ethan Young.
Can't say it enough, man. No free passes. Your team just gave you a 2-run lead. Fill up the zone.
Get in the zone, auto zone. As Young stays out of the zone and a walk.
1-out walk after just giving a 2-run lead is, again, the last thing you want to do. But you're still 1 pitch away from getting out of it with a ground ball, double play.
Now back for the Hokies, number 25, Garrett Michelle.
Garrett Michelle and this Hokie offense held in check today. As Michelle just had 35 at-bats a year ago. He was a pitch-hitting specialist. This year he's come out swinging it at nearly a 330 clip in the first 3 weeks. And today 1 for 2, so 5 hits in the tournament.
Yeah, already 39 ABs on this Young season.
As the Hokies were a top 5 scoring team in the ACC a year ago, but so many new faces from an offensive standpoint. They've lived up to it in these first 2 games, but give the Pirate pitching a ton of credit as now a quick meeting begins and ends.
Maybe not just yet. Great trip there by Walker Barrett and probably called from the dugout. And you could see Ethan Young peered over there, and Coach Knight had a little encouragement for him from the dugout and tried to settle him back in to see if he could extend this outing.
That 2-0 stays just up.
Rule of thumb after a visit with a guy that's struggling a little bit, and I'm sure that the thought was there for Garrett Michelle that you may get that fastball down the middle, and Ethan Young missed.
There's a strike.
Yeah.
Three straight quality pitching efforts from East Carolina from their starters and first relievers. This ball smoked out of play. Which does give Cliff Godwin some options with a well-rested bullpen.
Yeah, 3-2 count, one out here. I'll be surprised. I would think they'll probably send him here and count on Michelle to either draw the walk or put ball in play.
The 3-2 stays up and a walk.
And I can tell you that's not going to win favor with his coaching staff. The body language from Ethan Young, the head shake, it's not winning favor with the umpire, and it's the last thing you want to see do. You know, that pitch appears to me to be up and out of the zone. May have been close, and I know he wanted it, but you gotta maintain that composure. The last thing you want to do is alienate the guy behind the plate.
And if there's been a bugaboo this Pirates staff in 2025, it's free passes. And here comes a quick offensive conversation.
Kind of interesting. That may favor the Pirates. We've got so much sun, I can't tell if there's guys that are getting hot in the pen. I can certainly see some movement, but the glare's so bad. But it kind of helps the Pirates out, right? Coach makes a trip and talks to his hitter and gives the guys a chance to get a few extra tosses in.
Yeah, good luck telling who's in the pen from that perspective.
It's kind of tough.
Makes for a heck of a sunset on a coldy Sunday afternoon here in Greenville, North Carolina. To our knowledge, the bullpen is relatively quiet because Ethan Young's done his part in 3 innings of relief. This is Jackson Cherry now up. And Jackson takes a changeup for a strike. The 0-1 buries in the turf with an arm warming for the Pirates, Jackson Cherry, who does have 5 sacrifices this year. We'll see if that plays a factor with 1 out. Here's pitch 58 for Ethan Young, and he gets weak contact. Wallace scoops, gets the lead out. So runners are the corners now.
Yeah, effectively a swinging bunt. That ball hit off the end of the bat, and the Pirates are in the shift. Colby Wallace had to move over a little to his glove side to collect that with nowhere else to go but second base, and it was even a little closer play than you would think at second base. With the fast runner at first, you'll see him here just kind of moves over, and the runner from first was already in his slide, but in time to get him.
Big at bat for Sam Tackett. He lays off the slider.
I mean, this is the guy that they would want up there. And look, he's only in this spot in the lineup because they want him to get fastballs. Kind of tried to hide him down there in the 7 spot.
Tackett goes around on the check swing. It's 1-1.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt about this one. And again, this is one of those breaking pitches that's nowhere near the zone.
A quick pick and some attention over there at first.
Yeah, just to remind them that we're thinking about him. I would be very surprised if Tackett gets a fastball at any point in this at bat that he could possibly get a bat on.
The 1-1. Tackett taps foul.
And this might be the time where you go off the plate with the fastball or maybe up with the fastball, see if you can get him to swing through it. But it needs to cross no part of the white part of home plate or, quite frankly, the black in a 1-2 count.
One of the home run leaders in the ACC, Sam Tackett in the battle. Here's the 1-2. Runner breaks, past Wallace, a base hit.
And that ball is right over the heart of the plate.
And now a single makes it 2-1.
I do think it was an off-speed or a breaking ball, but it was right over the heart of the plate. It's the last place you could throw that. I mean, it backs up on him right into the bat path of the hitter, tack it, and that's, again, you can't do that. You can miss off, you can miss up. You got pitches to work with. You just can't throw. I mean, that is the definition of a cookie, and quite frankly, they're lucky that ball's not hit out on Charles with Tackett at the plate.
The 4-home-run hitter provides an RBI base hit. It's Anderson French's turn, and he'll watch a two-seam strike.
You know, they've got to limit the bleeding here. You got to get French. You could start the next inning with the replacement shortstop that's only hitting $182. So you want to stop it here.
The 0-1 stays way up.
You know, and it's not a stuff thing. It's not his pitches with Young that's a problem. He just appears to have lost some composure to some extent, and a lot of it goes back to that what he thought was a called third strike.
And here comes a 2-1 count to French, who had a 2 RBI knock in the Indiana State win Friday for the Hokies.
Kind of makes you think, go back to the comments that Coach Godwin made that you referenced earlier, if he could clean some stuff up, and I'm going to be willing to bet part of it is the demeanor on the mound.
Now nowhere to put French. You're getting in danger here for the East Carolina bullpen with arms warming.
Pretty sure it's Brad Pruitt down there, and Brad Pruitt has been a guy that's been able to come into games and get strikeouts, but he also ran into a 3-run home run in his last appearance.
There's strike 2.
Pretty natural take there. 3-2, 2 outs. Runner at first base will obviously be in motion. Base hit will give him a chance to score 2 runs here. So that 3-1 take with 2 outs is a pretty good move.
The payoff pitch. Misses inside. And now the bases are loaded. It's the 3rd walk of the inning for Ethan Young.
Be very surprised if Ethan Young's in there to face another hitter. But I really don't see any movement out of the dugout. I can see where Austin Knight's leaning spot is, and here he comes. Okay, here comes the skipper, Cliff Godwin.
Pitching change brewing for East Carolina.
You could say see Boucher trying to calm him down, and listen. And there's a fine line between being competitive and having that fuel, that fire, but you got to learn at points to kind of rein it in. You can't let it affect you negatively. It's got to be one of those things that fuels you internally, and I think it just got away from Ethan a little bit there. But look, 6 strikeouts, really good outing other than the last few hitters, and that's what he'll remember when he lays his head on the pillow tonight.
We'll take the timeout. Pitching change here in the 6th. The Hokies threatening as this game heats up on a Sunday night. Welcome back to Greenville, North Carolina. Brad Pruitt enters out of the Pirate bullpen. Ethan Young, a quality effort, but 3 walks here in the 6th. Forced the hand of Cliff Godwin. He goes to his sophomore at Corinth, Texas.
Yeah, we said earlier, Pruitt's a strikeout guy. 18 strikeouts to 9 innings pitched, and did give up the big home run on Friday night. But otherwise has been pretty good this year. The 8 walks are a little bit concerning, but you'll take it in this situation where you need the strikeout. It's the breaking ball. It's the secondary stuff for him as well. And he'll come in and try to keep the Hokie runners right where they are.
The Oklahoma transfer did not record an out on Friday night, but started his career 5 innings with 14 Ks in his first 2 appearances. It's been that kind of season for Brad Pruitt. And now this bullpen battle gets even deeper here in the 6th. Ethan Gibson, the defensive replacement for the injured Clay Grady, steps in, and he works the ball in his favor.
Interesting there to show bump, but this is the guy that is a non-spot, that is that came in for the injured shortstop earlier. So he's hitting $182, not a ton of experience, and doing anything to distract Pruitt.
Gibson taking there, strike 1. Just 11 starts a year ago for Gibson in the middle infield, hit .213. A prospect in a big spot here in the 6th. And fouls one off. A game that's waited all the way until the 5th to finally get some offense. A Boucher home run for ECU. Virginia Tech 2-out knock. And here's the 1-2. Hitting continues.
Gibson with the little head nod, able to lay off the breaking ball. 2-2 count.
Brad Pruitt into some trouble on 2-2. Gives up a knock and robbed by Williams. Dixon Williams secures the 2-1 lead for his homegrown ECU Pirates. We'll roll to the bottom half. Virginia Tech threatening. This defense preserving a 1-run lead. Welcome back to East Carolina. What a week for the American Athletic Conference. Keep an eye on FAU, 11-1 on the year. Walk-off home run for Jake Dewar today in a win over Fordham. And then Charlotte battling Arkansas down to the final inning. That was a good performance for the new-look Charlotte coaching staff. USF losing that war on I-4 to Central Florida. It's a good week for the American overall. Now their linchpin program, 5 straight American regular season titles here at East Carolina. And Dixon Williams, who just robbed the go-ahead base hit, leads off the bottom of the 6th.
So Jason Dietrich's Cal State Fullerton team mixing it up with Wichita State. Dietz, the former East Carolina pitching coach, and just all-around great guy, rock star of a dude, great baseball guy.
Yeah, good to see the long lineage of former ECU staff making their name in the college game. And for this American Conference, 5 teams in the top 100 or RPI coming in. ECU, their biggest team year in and year out, had a slow start, but looking to win 2 of their last 3 and secure a share of the Keith LeClaire Classic before the Pirates gear up for midweek games against Gardner-Webb and then host Coastal over the weekend. As Williams goes the other way, a base hit to begin the 6th.
I'm telling you, man, he is certainly locked in now. That's the approach that has made Dixon Williams such a dangerous collegiate hitter, is, you know, kind of taking what you're given. And Grant Manning has done a good job mixing looks and has been, quite frankly, borderline dominant with some of the off-speed stuff. And Dixon Williams trusts the approach again, stays with it, drives the ball out in the left field.
Now a quick meeting initiated by French with Tech bullpen warming. It's been a heck of a start for Grant Manning. Pardon me, a relief appearance, but he came in the 2nd.
Yeah, it feels like a start.
The true freshman warming in the Virginia Tech bullpen. Marcel Kulik.
Manning with some self-talk and maybe trying to get amped off the tunes that are being played here in the stadium. And
you had me jumping in the press box. With Mike Mullis, I'm EvanBudrovich. A slow start offensively for both teams, but now we got some action in the 6th as Colby Wallace is late on the fastball.
Coach Palumbo taking a long look at that wristband and finally finds the play he wants. Those things are a little bit complicated. It's a grid system, and you know, some of the one he wears has abbreviations, so he's kind of tracking now what he wants to go with. If you'll see when Coach Godwin's out there, he carries a bigger, almost like a play sheet that has it's a little bigger and a little less complicated to try to figure out where you're going.
Dealer's choice, and we'll see what's drawn up with Dixon Williams over at first base. Manning, the 6th-year senior, picks off again.
He had Dixon was taking a little chop step there. I mean, literally having a conversation through the earpiece it's not really an earpiece, but through the pitch comp system that's in his hat.
Runner bluffs, the pitch is fouled off, and Manning threw that ball with 1 second on the clock. Otherwise, it's an automatic ball. The clock is ticking. 2 hours into this game, bottom of the 6th, and some more action at first base.
You know, we've seen Manning spike a couple of breaking balls, a couple different pitches. We've seen him miss up and away with the breaking ball. So got to be fearful. He'd love to be able to go to it right here, but got to be aware that he doesn't need to throw it to the backstop. It's going to bring him out of the Hokie dugout.
And a pitching change coming here for Virginia Tech.
Manning has done a nice job tonight, but, man, it seems like just since he came back in this inning, there's been a lot of true conversation between the two. And the rare no ball, 2 strike, no out pitching change, something you don't see every day.
Marcel Kulik will enter, the true freshman in this spot. He returns after this timeout. Grant Manning, sixth-year senior, steps up for his Hokies out of the bullpen today.
Tell you what, he was good. I mean, he had some Pirate hitters looking a bit beside themselves, and did a great job. Other than the 2-run home run to Boucher, had a pretty sterling outing here today.
Manning was able to keep Pirate hitters off balance with the 9 strikeouts. That's his career best at Virginia Tech, but now he's pulled out mid at bat. Colby Wallace will face the new arm in Kulik, the true freshman. Only his 4th career appearance. Kulik last pitch in the midweek against James Madison at the end of February. Here we are now, first week of March. It's a big time in college basketball and a big matchup here, American versus ACC foes.
Quite a change here. You go from the 6'6" right-hander to the 6-foot right-hander, and probably a difference in age of, I don't know, 6 years, something like that.
At least.
Yeah, Marcel Kulik, the true freshman, takes the ball only 4 2/3. See, 4 2/3 inning and 3 walks to the 7 strikeouts.
No walks for the Hokie staff all day. They've been pounding the zone. And here's the 0-2. Good stop by French.
Yeah, that ball was headed to the backstop. French, nice job to bounce out of there and get a glove on that one.
Wallace, who's 0 for 2 today, with a runner going. There's strike 3, and a good throw is late. Stolen base for Dixon.
Yeah, you'll see it here. The freeze of Colby Wallace. Dixon Williams with a great jump and able to get underneath the tag. Great throw there by French as well, but Dixon Williams able to get underneath it.
So Williams using his speed for a 4th steal of the year.
You saw Davis, the second baseman there, trying to buy that call.
That's a team leading 4 steals. Not a huge base stealing team through 3 weeks, East Carolina. As Austin Irby works one inside. As we inch closer to the end of this 3rd week of the college baseball season. Both teams would love to get out of here with a win. ACC play begins next week. ECU welcomes a red-hot Coastal team that just swept Rutgers over the weekend. And Irby gets hit.
And that'll bring Michael Kalinich, the pinch hitter, to the plate, replacing Big John Collins after his last AB. And Kalinich already started the patting on the chest and let everybody know he's good to go, fired up, and ready for the opportunity. We've seen Kalinich a fair amount this year in the DH role. He is he and Collins constitute the backup catcher. So kind of a little bit of a concerning situation here where you will now have burned both your catchers. And so I would be curious, I guess, just straight enter Kalinich into that DH position.
We'll see if the true freshman can spark the Pirates' bats here in the 6th inning.
You know, he's another one of these guys, kind of like Austin Irby. Certainly doesn't lack in confidence, or at least outwardly. Fairly animated freshman.
Who lets one slip to the backstop away from French. Runners advance.
I feel like this thing's getting away from Kulik a little bit.
Yeah, multiple wild pitches today.
Yeah. You know, French has done such a good job back there getting the pitches, and that's one that looks like he could have gotten to fairly easily, but it skips by him.
How can the Pirates manufacture with the infield in against Kalinich, who avoids getting hit? That ball's way up and in. And you hear Kalinich still popping some confidence.
Yeah, it's okay to do all that if you'll deliver.
The young man from Longwood, Florida does not lack confidence. And this fan base has responded as here comes a meeting.
It's going to be the end of Kulik, I think. I don't know. There's nobody really moving around down there. Maybe just an effort to calm the freshman down, but
at 8-2 on the year, the Hokies have rolled into this tournament, but now their first real test in the bullpen. Will have to earn some outs here in the 6th.
I mean, normally, your young hitters will go over, maybe talk to the guy on deck or go down and talk to the coach if there's a break in the action like this. But Kalinic just kind of holding his ground at the plate, like, man, he's here for business. So umpire will go out and shake him up and end the meeting, and Kalinic will get a shot here. 2-0, 2 RBIs out there, 1 out. Man, this is the kind of situation you want to be in if you're a hitter. This kind of goes back to what we've talked about. The dude's been struggling to throw strikes. He's 2-0 behind, and the last thing he wants to do is put one on. So let's see if he serves one up here to Kalinic.
Top reliever Luke Crater warming in the Vatech bullpen. And what a spot for the true freshman off the bench, Michael Kalinic. The 2-0, not even close. And Kalinic knows it. And now the whole plate umpire has some words.
Yeah, and I agree with that. It gets a little much. Let's see if that'll bring anybody out of the East Carolina dugout. I didn't know if maybe Cliff would want to know what he said to him, but you can see here. I mean, there's a point again of being fired up and being excited, competitive, but you don't have to show up the other team.
Kalinic rockets one to right. Nice catch by Cherry, and the run scores on the sac fly. It's 3-1.
Yeah, Kalinic delivered. He's asking for the applause, and the fans are. I don't know that we've seen a player at East Carolina quite as animated as Kalinic in quite a long time. He was asking for the applause, and
a lot of times the curtain call is fan-driven,
yeah,
not
that's exactly
player-driven.
right. Yeah, that was kind of. But his teammates are happy for him, and
now a pitching change looming for Virginia Tech.
We saw earlier with the one of the Virginia Tech hitters, I think it was it Tackett or Cherry? I can't remember which one exactly, but with the bat flip on the ball 4, and we thought things may get a little chippy after that, but then we had the injury and the rhythm of the game changed. But when you have a guy that is, again, I've used the word animated more times than I ever thought I would in a baseball broadcast, but when you get all those animations for players, again, it is poking the proverbial bear, and it could be just enough to spark that fire.
Luke Crater enters out of the Virginia Tech pen, and this 6th inning battle continues after this timeout.
Now pitching for the Hokies,
New pitcher Luke Crater out of the Virginia Tech bullpen. He's been one of the best all year for Virginia Tech. And now a big spot because the way this game's gone, it's been a battle of little punches here and there. But right now the bullpen's starting to unfold in the 6th if you're Coach John Sheff.
Yeah, it goes to Crater, the big 6'5" guy. So, I mean, listen, their pitching staff, if nothing else, they'd be tough in intramural basketball. They've got some big units, but you see a 0.00 ERA through 3 2/3. Just the 1 walk to the 7 strikeouts and 4 appearances. So it's no question about can he. It's just a matter of can he do it in this moment.
The Lafayette transfer who was a shutdown mid-reliever and then closer last year, enters in a high-leverage spot here in the 6th. As even the fans heckling between bullpen pitches that weren't strikes. Anything to entertain this crowd tonight that's been waiting for offense until the 5th inning. A 2-run homer for Alex Boucher, clutch 2-out single for Virginia Tech. And here a sac fly makes it 3-1.
And I will tell you, the folks that are still here are diehards, because it has gone from being chilly to it is officially cold out there. And it's not exactly warm in this press box, as we've got camera equipment that requires us to have the window cracked a little bit.
First world problems, but does make for a fun Sunday. Here in Greenville, North Carolina, Roger Vergara, who's 0 for 2 with a strikeout, digs in. After Grant Manning punched out 9, but got in some trouble to start the 6th. That opened the door for one more run for East Carolina. And here's a 2-0 count. The bullpen struggling to throw strikes.
That kind of looked like a cross-up there between the pitcher and French. I mean, just the way he flipped the glove at it, Crater and French. See if they get on the same page here.
The 2-0. Still unable to hit. Pirates threatening again here in the 6th with Vergara. And now a walk extends the inning.
You know, those crowd shots kind of make you think maybe this is November football. You know, with everybody bundled up in the toboggan zone, the sun's down behind the trees. It has certainly changed the environment. Good way to work his way on for Roger Vergara. He'll be lifted for a pinch runner. Again, bear with us. It's number 23, but so is everybody else.
With everyone wearing 23 this week, that's a great point. It does sometimes take a minute to figure out who actually is the new player.
Braden Burris.
We found our answer. Burris, the Snow Hill, North Carolina native, now at first base. Walker Barron to the plate. He's first pitch hacking and misses on 95.
You know, that was probably a situation where that substitution was going to be made anyway for defensive purposes, with Vergara just getting his first time in the outfield, and Burris has been in left field off and on throughout the season.
The 0-1. There's a strike. Nothing has come easy here in this weekend finale. And a slow chopper could end the inning. Nice turn. And Grady's there to take care of it. The new defensive sub, Ethan Gibson, on the play. We'll take the timeout as we go to the 7th. Welcome back to Greenville. Here's how we got to this point in the Keith LeClaire Classic. Virginia Tech off to a red-hot start, 2 wins. East Carolina unfortunately lost a 6-0 lead against Kent State. Otherwise, they'd be playing for a perfect weekend. And all of a sudden, this championship de facto matchup, ECU the 2-run lead. And we head to the 7th in the Battle of the Bullpens with Brad Pruitt back to work.
Virginia Tech's flipped the order, going back to the top here.
A bullpen for ECU that's done a nice job the last 2 days of filling the void behind quality starting pitching.
Well, a little rough on Friday, but they certainly bounced back well yesterday.
Jared Davis kicks things off. He's 1 for 3 on the day. And the Hokies, who found ways to manufacture thanks to 3 walks last inning, forced Ethan Young out. Brad Pruitt, in his 3rd outing of the week, back to work. And grooves a strike.
Here's a big bounce back outing for Pruitt after his effort on Friday night didn't go the way he wanted. So see if he settle in and hold the Hokies right here.
There's a good response for strike 2. The 1-2 pitch. Good swing and a miss. Pruitt challenging with 92.
Yeah, he blew that by Jared Davis. I would think that maybe Davis was sitting off speed. We saw him in his previous at-bat have a tough time with breaking balls off the plate, and man, Pruitt just goes right at him, spots that thing in a perfect location. It'll be tough to get to that one either way, and takes care of the leadoff guy.
One out for Ben Watson. And this order that had been so potent, what have you liked about ECU's pitching today to keep the Hokies off balance?
I mean, just that. They've kept the team off balance, mixed up locations of pitch. I mean, they've just done a great job of pitching.
As Dixon Williams knocks that down for the second out.
Kind of situationally doing so. So, yeah, it's been good to this point. Again, it's still got a lot of baseball left, so see if Pruitt can keep dealing.
Pruitt gave up a home run as part of the comeback efforts on Friday, but he's looked good in a couple innings of work here in the 7th. And now we'll face David McCann, the DH. What a filthy pitch.
I will tell you, just stuff-wise, he looks better tonight. Like it's a little, maybe the tank's a little more full than it was Friday night, but so far so good.
6th outing of this young season for Brad Pruitt. And there's a hit by pitch, but then ruled leaning into the pitch, as even the firefighters in Greenville are checking out the action tonight.
So I think we're going to get a replay on a hit by pitch. Now, there's nothing more electric in the game of baseball than an instant replay on a hit by pitch. Let's see if we.
By rule, if the batter leans the elbow out in front of the plate.
I think it's kind of where it started. He certainly didn't make an effort to get it out of the way. And from that angle, it looks like he was taking it right to the baseball. Pretty easy to do that when you got that elbow guard on, right? So, yeah, we have a review of a hit by pitch.
And where the batter is when he gets hit, that's part 2 of this question. He's hovered right over that inside of the batter's box.
No, he's exactly where he's entitled to be. I think it's literally that lead elbow. The angle from on, full front there, I think is the best look where you can it literally looks like he's trying to take the ball to the elbow. So what's more exciting in the new game? Is it instant review of hit by pitch or pitch clock violation, which we had 4 yesterday?
There's always something that keeps you into it.
There's always something. That's right.
That we say half satirically, half seriously. But our umpires get a chance to check this out, whether it's a runner on or all of a sudden a 1-1 count.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's hard to look at an instant replay and judge somebody's intent. You know what I mean? Like, how do we know what the intent was? Well, it looks like he probably stuck it out there a little bit. And at this point, to me, this is a play that should be just the umpire's call. Yeah, Yeah, we're sitting here looking at it time and time again. I'll go back to my theory of the longer the review takes, the more likely it is to be overturned. And I will tell you, those are the warmest guys in the ballpark. Those that turnout gear will keep you warm. Looks like one guy's got a hoodie on underneath his head and the turnout coat. That'll keep you warm.
That's a way to enjoy a baseball game.
It truly, and all right, they're coming back out. I won't get on my soapbox, but it just doesn't seem like it should take this long. He leaned into it, and they're putting him back in the box. I would think that probably the bigger conversation would have been the umpire that made that call, talking to the other umpire going, how do I demonstrate that? Like, if it's a safe call, your arms go out. But he came out, was pretty animated, and did the tap on the elbow and pointed at the box. I would think that's one they don't use a whole lot.
So it moves the count to 0-2 all of a sudden. Pruitt back to it. Challenges McCann and gets the punch out.
Takes advantage. Yeah, I'm sorry. Did you see the little shove there with Barron? And I'm telling you, man, I just feel like there's something just under the surface that's bubbling up that this thing could get interesting.
A fun matchup that both teams certainly care about. Here to close out the LeClaire Classic. A good strikeout to end it.
It's coming. I don't know what it is.
Put your hands up in the air. Put your hands up in the air.
Alex Boucher's mom won the
Here's your game summary. Wrapping up the LeClaire Classic. East Carolina, who's controlled this series all time for Virginia Tech, 9-5. It's been a low-scoring start, but Alex Boucher, the go-ahead home run's been the difference tonight. A little more scoring since the fifth after quality pitching between Young and Manning today. And now we roll into the bottom of the seventh, where Luke Crater has been pounding about 95 with his fastball, misses down to begin the seventh inning.
We got another fresh bat off the bench at Keenan Bowman.
Pitch hitters aplenty here late. Bowman hitting 185 entering tonight. And takes downstairs. Control's been an issue for the Virginia Tech bullpen tonight.
Crater kind of looking in there and asking for the strike call as well, but the unwritten rule applies again. The catcher dropped it. I don't know, it looked like it might have been down as well.
Definitely hard to earn those strikes. Good point. And now the catcher can't squeeze it again. It's 3-0. Crater's got to be careful, too, not to almost show up as catcher here.
Yeah, well, and that's what he's doing. I mean, these guys are the animations are incredible. I mean, listen, there's this kind of, I don't want to say new style of catching, but where you work it down to up. And, used to be back in my day catching, you present, target, quarter turn to soft, and receive the baseball. So there's a lot more movement in an effort to buy strikes. But if the pitch is a strike, you don't have to buy it. You already got it. Just catch the baseball.
Crater does a nice job responding there for the junior right-hander out of Western Albemarle High School. There's strike two.
Or strike 5.
In his eyes, yes.
Yeah, as it may be.
And to your point, in the zone, quote unquote, it's a strike. But the way it's presented, it's not. Leads to a payoff pitch. That is a strike and is fouled away.
Now we see Keenan Bowman do the chest pound. And
the amount of Wolf of Wall Street fans that must be locked into this game. The pounding of the chest, the confidence, the bottom, bum, bottom, bum. On a cold night here in Greenville, the 3-2 goes inside, and there's a walk to begin the inning.
You know, we talked about the body language with Young earlier, and Crater not doing much better of a job out there himself, kind of bouncing around the mound. But again, man, it's one of those things you got to compose yourself. Can't let this negatively affect you. So he's got to rein it in. He's got a tough job here. Boucher with a home run his last AB. The Pirates are certainly looking for add a little insurance.
First pitch to Alex Boucher stays inside. Control's now been an issue for Crater out of the pen. He's been the Hokies' top reliever entering the year, with 7 straight misses.
That's kind of what I'm talking about. I mean, a dude that's typically a strike thrower has allowed his uncontrollables to affect his outing, man. He's got to just settle in and fill it up. But I tell you what, if he throws one right here down the middle trying to sneak it past Boucher, it could be another home run.
Swing and a miss for Boucher. Good pitch.
He took the swing for it. He just beat him, just beat his barrel with 95.
Boucher's home run in the 5th kick-started the Pirate offense. Their 13th home run of the year. Here's the 2-1. Nice stop, but now some issues here for the Virginia Tech bullpen.
This really has felt almost like 3 games inside of a 7-inning, event today. It's been great pitching at times, and then it's kind of been, real choppy. It's had an interesting flow to it, or maybe lack thereof.
The 3-1, that time gets the zone.
So Crater with the kind of the head bobble, like, man, maybe that was borderline, and Crater didn't think he was going to get that, but he got that one. And, he's like, man, that wasn't as good as the other ones. And here we go.
And now some quick words for the Pirate dugout.
We did see a conversation between innings with head coach Cliff Godwin and the home plate umpire Jim Shaley, and we could only assume it had to go back to Kalinich's antics, if you will, at the plate. So, I don't know. Again, like I keep saying, it just feels chirpy. I kind of like it.
There's strike 3, and the runner just takes second.
Strike 3, French does not get off the throw. I get a pretty good jump out there by Keenan Bowman. Pitch kind of down and in and no throw. I don't know if he thought it was ball 4, or if it's ball 4, you can let it go. I mean, you just make sure they can catch it.
And now a chance for Cliff Godwin to have a conversation.
Yeah, again, the freshman is not having his best day, and this is an opportunity to fix all that. That's the beautiful side of this game. One base hit right here scores that run, and adds to the East Carolina lead. It make his night, get him back on track.
With a man in scoring position, Alex Peltier gets a chance. Trying to cash in Keenan Bowman.
Bowman is a good runner, so I would think any base hit he will score fairly easily, unless it's just right at somebody.
First pitch to Peltier. Not even close. It's been a bit of an adventure for Luke Crater out of the bullpen. There's a good hack at 95.
Yeah, we've seen Peltier does have a home run on the season. He hit one well up into the trees over in left field. So he does have that kind of juice, but I don't think that's necessarily what the expectation here is, or quite frankly what his approach needs to be in this situation. Kind of cut it down and be short with the barrel, just firm contact.
Now a bunt attempt, and there's strike 2.
I think Peltier's got a lot going on between his ears right now, just trying to work his way through it. And again, he's a really good player. He'll work his way out of it, but he's just laboring right now at the plate.
A lot of different ways to skin a cat as both teams try to manufacture some offense here late. Good swing and a miss and a punch out for Crater.
Yeah, good breaking ball there for Crater, and another strikeout on the evening for Peltier. So we're going to bring up the hot hitting Dixon Williams, though. You know, a guy that has had good swings today and all weekend, quite frankly. Give him a chance to get that RBI.
Dixon 2 for 3, 7 hits in this tournament.
We'll put him on.
An intentional walk. The first time we've seen that on the weekend.
Tell you what, I tell you who did not like that. Crater did not like that at all. So after French tells the umpire the intent to put him on, just kind of hold on. What are they saying? Okay, yeah, hey, we're going to put him on. We're going to put him on, Blue. Okay? Watch Crater. Watch Crater's reaction.
Yeah, he wanted a piece of that.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, you know, be careful what you wish for and understand the point in the game you're in, right? You put him on. Kobe Wallace comes up, who has been struggling. You set up the forced play. I mean, that's just not being aware of the situation. Again, I understand the fire and the passion and all that stuff, but he should have been thinking about that. Crater should have been thinking we're going to put this guy on because he's been hot as a stolen pistol all day.
That's a new expression I've never heard before.
Yeah, stick around, Ev. I got a lot of them.
Like Melissa, I'm EvanBudrovich. We learn something new every day in this press box. Colby Wallace and the Pirates have stranded 4 on the bases today. A couple of chances the last 2 innings. And there's a strike 1.
Again, I'm going to use animation again, but they're like every pitch, a guy's shaking his head no or shaking it. It's just such a different game. You know, just go about it and put together a great AB right here, Colby.
The 2-1. A hard chopper could be tricky for Davis. And the umpire runs into the runner. It would have been an out regardless, but
I mean, would it?
Creates some confusion at least.
And and I'm sure folks are asking, is that interference? That is the umpire's part of the field.
So it leads to an out. One of the more unique plays you'll see in baseball. A little interference, doesn't matter. Virginia Tech gets out of the jam.
We call it drive. The unrelenting desire to become the person you were born to be. Ignited by a moment. The realization that a future you could only dream of is within reach. At East Carolina University, you won't just imagine a path. You'll forge one through hard work and the success that comes without surrender. The journey that leads to your future. And this is where it begins.
There is only one way to win. It doesn't have shortcuts. It's a spirit to outwork, outsmart and outlast the competition. It demands boldness, grit, and guts. It says we can, and we will. It's what separates us from the rest. There's only one way to greatness, and that's the American way.
Welcome back to Greenville, North Carolina, as this tournament ticks into the night. Game 6 of the Keith LeClaire Classic. If East Carolina wins, there's a three-way tie between Kent State, East Carolina, and Virginia Tech. Makes for a fun end of the weekend. Pirates 2 runs in the 5th. They had 1 in the 6th. Virginia Tech threatening late, and a battle of the bullpen continues. Brad Pruitt, an inning and a third, back to work, and he rears up and misses outside to get things started to Luke Crater. David Lewis in a 2-0 count begins this inning for Virginia Tech.
Pirates really need Pruitt just fill up the zone. Fill up the zone. 1-run home run can't tie you here.
Despite the cross-up, there's a strike.
You know, we saw that a couple times with French in the last night. We've actually seen several pitches tonight where balls have bounced out of gloves of these catchers on both sides.
A check swing and a strike.
So it's something interesting here, and we'll take a look when we go back, but it looks to me Walker Barron is giving signs. I don't know that I've seen him giving signs, and I don't know is there a pitch com issue, and maybe he's not, but he certainly put something down a minute ago like a pinky or no. Okay.
The 3-2 gets a swing and a miss. Whatever's calling, it's working. A punch out for Pruitt.
Stay with it. I would tell him just throw that one again. They had a big deal here in the ballpark. Free chicken leg. 10th strikeout of the game.
Double-digit Ks and some treats. You can't beat it.
That takes us up over 20 strikeouts for the combined number for both teams.
If you like the swing and a miss, you came to the right place here on ESPN Plus.
You were in the right spot.
Garrett Michelle, who also struck out in the 4th. That was when Ethan Young mowed down the lineup 1-2-3. Between him, Lance Williams, and now Brad Pruitt. Quality pitching for the Pirates tonight.
Pirates have a couple arms, one left-hander, one right-hander up down in the pen.
1-1 slider stays up. Before East Carolina will head to Segra Stadium this week to take on Gardner Webb, the Runnin' Bulldogs. That's R-U-N-I-N-N with the apostrophe, no G. It can get tricky. Pruitt works the 3-2 count. And that one dives into the dirt. So a walk to lead things off.
Free passes, man. We've talked about it a lot. So what you've done is brought the tying run to the plate.
Now that for the Hokies, number 28, Jackson Cherry.
There's Jackson Cherry's turn. Just one comeback win this year for Virginia Tech. It's been the big bats carrying the load in the first 3 weeks, but a different story tonight. Pruitt's first pitch is hit hard on the ground. Williams could start it. Boucher to first is late, and the inning continues.
Yeah, the ball just not hit quite hard enough. Cherry, a pretty good runner, legs that one out, but they erased the lead out there. See it here. It kind of hugs the ground, and Dixie gets rid of it. A little bit of a low throw for Boucher. Maybe if that ball hits him in the chest, maybe Boucher has a chance to turn it and maybe make it a little bit closer. But nonetheless, lead out only, 2 outs in the inning.
And now Virginia Tech will call time with Sam Tackett to talk before this at bat.
Yeah, Coach was going through some signs, and they kind of look like they use a hybrid situation of some type of play card call and the and traditional signs. So I'm not sure what the thought is here. As I'm looking at the hitter, I don't know that I see the wristband. Maybe that's it on the left arm. I'm not sure what this conversation could necessarily be about. Tackett walks away with a smile.
An extended meeting.
Okay, there's the sign systems on the belt. So you'll watch Coach down at third base, and he'll flash numbers, but he'll also go through a series of hand signs. Like there's a little confusion.
The first pitch stays way up and outside. Tackett with back-to-back base hits. He's been the top hitter for the Hokies all year.
Yeah, with a .528 average and 4 home runs, 15 RBIs already, he's the top hitter for a lot of people.
That one rolls foul. Sam Tackett has been a 4-year reserve at Virginia Tech. This is his first year in the lineup, replacing a huge piece in Chris Cannizzaro, the 12-home run hitter from a year ago in the outfield. And making his presence felt with the tying run at the plate. The 1-1 misses.
Pirate fans wanted that one, just misses.
So Pruitt does it again. Can't nibble there, 3-1. That time Pruitt finds the zone with his breaking ball.
Big pitch here for Pruitt. Runner will be in motion.
Back-to-back days, the Pirate bullpen tested. Here's the 3-2. Got him swinging. Brett Pruitt's been lights out of the pen and preserves a 2-run lead.
Great breaking ball there by Pruitt at a big moment.
East Carolina 3 outs from earning 2 wins in the Keith LeClerc Classic. It's been the bullpen doing the work today. Here's what's cooking for Virginia Tech in the upcoming week 1. It's Drew Burress and national phenom at Georgia Tech in town. NC State on the docket. It's an important stretch for the Hokies. Are off to their best start under Coach Sheff in 3 years at 8-2 overall.
Tell you what, don't overlook that really good James Madison team led by Marlon Eichenberry, good club, and Virginia Commonwealth north of Norfolk State. So a good little run coming up here for the Hokies.
Hokies gear up to a stretch run of ACC play as well, and in the matchup with one of the best teams in the American Conference, East Carolina. Matt Curtis, the USC Upstate transfer, gets the ball out of the Hokies bullpen. Curtis last year was a weekend starter for Upstate. You can tell he's working through some pitch comm metrics here, getting his earpiece all situated.
They certainly have had their challenges. Yeah, you know, and it's not even like a true earpiece. It just sits in the fold of the hat. But, yeah, it seems like there's been issues with that pretty consistently all night.
So Irby will lead things off in the 8th. He was the walk-off winner last night in the 7-inning game for the Pirates. Today he's been hit by a pitch and 0 for 2 overall. Eight total arms between these clubs. Curtis the 5th for the Hokies, and he gives up a knock into left field.
Good piece of hitting by the freshman, and excited to be over there. A little dap for Henry Lartigue, hitting coach.
It has felt like a game where teams have had to create their own energy at times.
Well, there's been a lot of effort at it. Speaking of energy and animation, that'll bring Kalinic back to the plate. He with the vocal walk in the his last appearance. Actually, line out. I'm sorry, he lined out.
He was the Energizer Bunny in that at bat.
He was excited to be there.
The sac fly made it 3-1 at that point. This time, Kalinic takes one down the middle. Part of a 20-man freshman class here for Cliff Godwin, who had to replace 6 key starters from last year's club. Curtis is 0-1. Is hit through the hole, dangerous, and an infield base hit for Kalinic.
Yeah, that is the old beating of the shift. Ground ball the other way, and
the ever-joyous Kalinic.
If the Hokie defense is playing straight up, that's a pretty easy play. Not sure they turned double play on the softly hit ball, but you'll see how far the shortstop had to come to even get a chance to get a glove on it. He does just that. Keeps it on the infield. Runners on first and second with none. And this will be Braden Burris' first AB tonight, as he just entered the game not too long ago.
Well, Jeff Palumbo and this Pirate staff at third look to be creative and manufacture something. And a cold wintry night in Greenville, and a quick conversation with French as the bullpen actively warms.
They'll bring a Pirate player. The designated dancer is out there, the third base coach at box. I'm not sure who that is.
Wait, there's a designated dancer?
Well, apparently he is. Every time they play the music, he makes the trek out and puts on a little show. Now a moonwalk? Yeah, okay. You see the Virginia Tech bullpen there. They got several arms up and going.
The unique trends in college baseball. We've seen crowd surfing this week, designated dancing, chest pounding, whatever it takes. Even fans in the jungle getting hit by home runs. Burris in a fresh count. Looks to punt and almost gets beheaded there.
Hardest thing to do is bunt that high hard one, and you're taught as a pitcher, and hey, when a guy shows, try to run it up and in. No effort to hit him, just to try to induce him to pop the ball up.
Matthew Curtis in this spot in relief. Multi-year starter for USC Upstate. Now a true bullpen option for Coach Sheff. And here's the 0-1. Off the glove of French, and the job's done.
Tell you what, French has really had his struggles late in this game back there, and they had to crash on where they were looking to collect that out at third base. But nonetheless, little will play here, and French tries to make a move before he has the baseball. You mentioned earlier, I think French, this is his first appearance in the weekend. Has had a little bit of a tough go of it today back there.
Now runners move even closer for the Pirates, who've stranded 6 in the last 3 innings. The 1-1. Burris takes a strike.
Would not have surprised me in the least if Coach Palumbo would have run a squeeze right there. I don't think he'll do it with 2 strikes, though. Although we have seen that done before with this East Carolina offense.
Now the 1-2. Burris takes a close one there. A program that's found their offense in the last 2 games. Today it's been much tougher. Sets up a huge 2-2. Burris the other way. There's a base hit. Cashes in 1. Look to make it 2. And Burris is flying in a second with a clutch double.
Yeah, solid piece of 2-strike hitting there. Goes from the unsuccessful bunt attempt and gets himself kind of buried in the count. Stays patient and just literally direct with the barrel, short stroke, and flips that ball into right field. Good job of base running there, too. He was 2 out of the box. No consideration of pulling up at first base.
First double in Braden Burris's career, and he's fired up right here. There's been a lot of yelling and screaming from this Pirate dugout. They're looking to manufacture energy. Weather hasn't been perfect. It's been a long day at the park, and which team can claw out a win and earn the co-championship or title of the Keith LeClaire Classic? More small ball. Oh, boy.
Again, pitch top of the zone, and that's one where, Walker Barron's got to just pull back there. He nearly did exactly what the pitcher Curtis wanted him to do. Luckily, it gets foul.
The 0-1 takes a strike, and now it's win-win if you're Virginia Tech here. Get the first 2 strikes.
So he pulled back there because the first baseman that crashed was right on top of him, and that pitch was a little lower but away. The only place he could have bunted that ball would have been right into the defense of the first baseman. Another look at it with 2 strikes. This could be a slash.
Barron takes.
This Pirate offense works on bunting an awful lot. They do it every practice, pregame, and I don't mean just in their BP rounds. They've got bunting stations set up. They take themselves, take the bunting game very, very seriously.
How about another chance here on 1-2? A slash and a pop-up. Cherry charging towards the line. Cherry sprinting and makes the catch. Wow! The cherry on top out of play.
That is a great catch. He makes the catch of the baseball and of the second baseman who's pursuing that foul ball as well. That's one of those situations that the job still gets done regardless of how it happened. The sacrifice fly in foul ground for
one
Walker
of the
Barron.
best catches you'll see in college baseball right here.
That's a great catch, no question.
And he took a lot of contact from Davis.
He may have got hit in the unmentionables when Davis fell on top of him.
Runner at third now for the Pirates. The infield comes in. And in the 4-run game, this is still an important out for Matt Curtis in the bullpen. It looks like he might be coming out.
Well, the difference in 4 and 5 runs is the Grand Slam can't beat you or tie you with, if you got a 5-run lead. So playing the games in 2s and 5s, and that's the thought here is to again just try to scratch at least one more.
Multiple arms ready for the Hokies.
Looked like it was 2 left-handers on that last shot, so we'll see. They're trying to squeeze the last couple tosses out of it.
Okay, Luke Jackman coming into the game. Redshirt junior out of Gonzaga College will get an appearance here on the weekend, and we'll take the timeout. East Carolina looks to extend its 4-run lead. Luke Jackman gets the baseball for Virginia Tech. His 4th year with the Hokies. He redshirted last year due to injury and looks to make the most of this opportunity. All of a sudden, a 5-1 game. What has ECU done well here, Mike, to expand this lead?
No, just played good offense. You know, we've seen guys driving balls, good 2-strike hitting, and done everything they do. Really good base running. You know, not to be overlooked. And they had a couple lefties down there. Decided to go with the righty as he's going to face the right-handed hitting Keenan Bowman.
For those wondering, Luke, the son of Peter and Jennifer Jackson, and his family, they were pitchers growing up at Washington College in the late 60s, his uncle and grandfather. ECU with a couple runs in the 8th, threatening once again with Keenan Bowman at the plate. And Bowman's taking a fastball. This East Carolina offense has faced 150 pitches tonight. You don't see that too often in a 5-1 game. Both staffs having to gruel through these innings. Here's a squeeze bunt attempt that goes foul.
Yeah, a little more of a safety look. Burris wasn't necessarily breaking hard. He was going to – appeared as though he was going to see that one down.
Defense in for the Hokies. Burris at third, and the 0-2 just outside. The Pirates in a stretch of 8 of 9 games at home. They're looking for back-to-back wins. And the bats have come to life in the last 3 innings.
Two runs already in the inning, only 1 out recorded.
The 2-2 skips away, and that allows the 6th run to score.
The ball just through the right arm there of French, the catcher. Again, it just kind of looked like he didn't get over to block that ball. He kind of throws a wing at it. See here, he just kind of gets over a little bit, but leaves that hole open, and there it goes right through. Another run scored.
The Hokies have had a wild pitch pass ball problem tonight. And that time a walk extends the inning.
I don't know, maybe, and I'm not sure if you may know this, do the Hokies play on turf at home?
They do.
I thought that they did. I was going to maybe say has the turf had an impact on some of this, but they should be pretty used to it. I was pretty sure that they did.
Yeah, newly renovated English Field in the last 3 years.
That's right. It hadn't been long ago.
Fresh off that trip to the Super Regional, done a lot of great work to renovate not only the home dugout, but the home facility up in Blacksburg. And the Hokies will be back at home hosting Georgia Tech this week. Alex Boucher in search of a 3-hit night. Takes a fastball.
He's got his average up to 222 with the 3 home runs, 8 hits on the season.
Runner moving 1-1. A throw slips away, and now the Pirates take 2 bases out of it.
Stolen back there for Keenan Bowman, and throw gets out to the center fielder. Bowman headsy, base running there to advance to third. You know, the Pirates have always kind of been of the mentality it's not their job to stop, it's the other team's job to stop them. And see if Virginia Tech takes exception.
Another ball 2.
Only a 5-run lead and swinging metal bats, man, anything is possible. So I guess it just feels like it's a little more lopsided than that just because of these late innings.
That's a really good pitch, and there's strike 3. For the second out here in the 8th.
Tell you what, this is a pretty quality pitch, and good job by French there to receive and present that. I don't think Boucher liked it, but umpire may have hit the let's go home position.
That one stays outside to Peltier in the top of this ECU order.
It shows bunt again.
5th at bat for the top of this lineup. All 6 of these runs have come since the 5th. And there's strike 1.
Peltier would love to end this weekend with a knock here in this AB again. Just a positive feeling going into the new week. Most of these guys will be off tomorrow, other than extra work or give them a chance to reset. Of course, in college baseball and today's game, there really are no days off. There are days that aren't team practice, but there's always something that you can work on.
There's the 1-2. And that stays outside.
Pretty good take on that pitch by Peltier. Not very. Again, I was trying to find another word other than animated in that take, but put a good look on that one. See what he does here.
The 2-2 stays down, and it's a full count. The 3-2 leads to another battle. And one thing, if you're Cliff Godwin, you got to appreciate the way the Pirates have worked the Virginia Tech staff tonight.
Yeah, that's been a big push for them, man. It's having more competitive ABs and extended opportunities, and they have certainly done a much better job of that tonight.
They faced over 150 pitches, and this one's grounded to short. That'll set up the 9th. 3 more runs, though, for East Carolina. The bench. What a clutch at bat for Burris to give his Pirates run support. 6-1 game as we close out the Keith LeClaire Classic next. Here's what's cooking in the final game of the Keith LeClaire Classic. The bullpens have been good for both teams, but East Carolina finding offense late. Dixon Williams with a couple of hits to carry the load and a 3-run 8th, along with an ECU bullpen that struck out 10 after the starter. Lance Williams goes 2 1/3. Pruitt and Ethan Young have done their part, and now it's up to Pruitt to close this game out in the 9th, sporting a 5-run lead.
quick inning right here would be a great thing to wrap up the weekend for the Pirates.
Easier said than done the way this tournament's unfolded. Top scoring. Oh.
It's amazing. There's another one of those ejecto mitts. They need to get the ram's horns out of these mitts. It's we've seen ball after ball make it to the backstop.
We got to get some rubber bands and get these gloves back into shape.
I mean, something.
With some leather and oil and you name it. Because that time it squeezed, but missing inside. Henry Cook, the backup catcher, who had been battling injury the first 2 weeks. Good to see him back in the fold for Virginia Tech this weekend. Earned a start Friday and takes a strike here. He'll replace Anderson French, who walked twice tonight. Here's the 2-1.
Go right at him here. No need to try to do anything too tricky. Playing with a 5-run lead.
Yeah, that 3-run eighth becomes vital now. As the 2-2 results in a strikeout. 5 Ks for Pruitt.
You know, he's capable of doing that, man. He, earlier in the season, he put up some big strikeout numbers. One outing, I think he had 7 or 8 in a relief appearance. So it had been the balls that had haunted him to a point, but relatively clean outing tonight, all things considered.
And a first pitch foul ball from Ethan Gibson. This Virginia Tech offense who came in with all the accolades of a huge first 2 weeks. It's been held in check by 3 Pirate arms tonight.
Pruitt's faced 9 guys, only 1 walk, 5 strikeouts.
Good front door breaker. Crossover season continues. East Carolina fresh off a nice win on the women's side over South Florida last night. They'll face the league champions in UTSA on ESPN+. As Brad Pruitt puts on a show himself out of the pen.
We didn't talk a whole lot about Ethan Gibson's only at bat earlier tonight where he scorches a line drive and Dixon Williams just kind of comes out of nowhere to snare it and halts the Virginia Tech threat.
For those checking on our production staff schedule, there are games Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday this upcoming week, all on ESPN+ here at home. With a 5-run lead, Brad Pruitt goes back to work and works the count full.
I'm just interested in these facial expressions we're getting for these guys. Ethan Gibson, another one of these guys, tongue's out of his mouth, and he little Gene Simmons look up there. It's interesting.
But can he contort his tongue like Gene Simmons? He might after that punch out. Pruitt back-to-back Ks.
Yeah, 6 strikeouts on the night for Brad Pruitt. Hokies down to their last out here at the top of the ninth. Tell you what, when he's got that Uncle Charlie working, he's going to be very, very difficult.
6 Ks and counting for Pruitt. His career high was in his debut with 9 punch-outs in opening weekend.
Yeah, that's the big difference in tonight's outing and Friday night's outing. Even watching his warm-ups, he did not have the good biting breaking ball and throws a hanger as the one that gets hurt. But you see it tonight. It's for real.
And holding the Hokies to just 4 hits. That's been impressive given the way Virginia Tech swung the bats this week.
Jared Davis has proven to be a bit of a free swinger, so I imagine he's going to just stay away from him, not really throw him a strike, and see if he can make quick work. He'd probably give you another 2 balls off the plate here if you want to spin one out there in the left-hand batter's box.
Brad Pruitt's 0-2. Liner, base hit. And this game's not over just yet.
Way too good of a pitch, 0-2. That's one of those things that, again, drives you crazy. He just, I don't know, kind of took a little something off of it and just caught part of the plate.
Oh, that pitch is way up.
Yeah, I mean, it's just way too good. I think he was trying to get it out there, but just missed his spot, and you got to be better than that.
Now it's been Watson's turn, and he's chasing a filthy breaker. The key for Pruitt, just 10 pitches Friday, so plenty of juice as he works in his 3+ innings tonight. Here's the 0-1. How about that splitter, strike 2.
Now again, right back in the same situation he was with the previous hitter. Now it's time to put him away.
East Carolina's pitching staff's been the story here in this final day of the Keith LeClaire Classic as time is called. Umpire initiated time.
He's giving him the message that the hitter has until the 8-second mark to get in the box and address the pitcher. No big deal. Let's just put it back in play, Jim.
Here we go. 0-2 pitch for Pruitt. Stays down. #16th all-time meeting. Pirates lead the series 9-5, and they've dominated tonight. Here's Pruitt's 1-2. Fouled away.
Pruitt stays glove side with that breaking ball. That backdoor breaking pitch is one that if you can do it, it's a great pitch. If it's not something you've mastered, it's the way you give up home runs. You know what I mean? It's breaking into the barrel. So Pruitt prefers to stay with the one that he can drive to the glove side down on the back foot of the left-handed hitter.
A good reminder from Barron, his catcher, as the count evens.
Fastball gets away from him there.
The 22nd rendition of the Keith LeClaire Classic comes down to this 9th inning. And a ball off the glove of Pruitt as this ECU bullpen does its job. What a pitching performance here in day 3, and East Carolina earns a co-championship. The Pirates, the Hokies, and Kent State all go 2-1. What a performance, though, for East Carolina here on Sunday.
Yeah, I think the biggest deal, Ev, is that you saw an extension of the offensive improvement that started back at the ODU game. And, they managed to put together hits when they needed to, took advantage of some things. We saw the small ball. We saw balls driven for extra base hits. So, a good sign of life as this Pirate offense continues to gel. Still too many strikeouts in this game, but the pitching for Virginia Tech was pretty good on the front end.
And that wraps up a fun weekend of baseball here at the Keith LeClaire Classic. East Carolina wins back-to-back games, and their pitching was dynamic tonight. Thanks for joining us here on ESPN+. The Hokies go 2-1 in the tournament. ECU gears up for a big stretch with Coastal Carolina in town next week, and a fun week of crossover season continues. For our entire production staff, Mike Mullis and crew of EvanBudrovich, East Carolina pitching, the story tonight, 6-1 winners. This is a presentation of ESPN.
Next Friday, as your Pirates host Coastal Carolina, first pitch is the ECU Sports Network promotion.